Morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. Starting up a new game today called Astrologaster. It's just something I randomly found on the eShop, I think earlier this year. It was either earlier this year or earlier last year, I kind of forget, because I've had this game for a while now. Audio is a bit quiet. Sorry I couldn't stream yesterday. I was a bit busy with like family stuff. It was Thanksgiving weekend after all. But yeah, back now, rather early today. Just gonna see how far I can go. Probably end it around 2, not sure just yet. It'll depend on this game really, because yeah. This game. The background is, of course, as you can see, Bodleian Library in Oxford, present day. About this game, I just took a look at this page, and apparently this game takes inspiration from casebooks of the real-life astrologer Simon Forman. Around 1600s, he and his protege Richard Napier produced one of the richest surviving sets of private medical records in history. These records are a unique source for the study of everyday life and the practice of medicine in early modern England. And apparently a team of scholars in Cambridge transformed this paper archive into a digital archive, and that archive was what this game used as its historic consultants. And the team that made this game was inspired and formed by the casebooks, but the game is not a dramatization of actual cases. So, like, loosely based off of those casebooks. And those casebooks are held in Oxford. They fill 66 calf-bound volumes, page after page, written in antiquated and messy handwriting. So, what this game is about, we're essentially going to be Simon Forman, I think. And we're gonna be using astrology to help people with medical problems, or with their medical problems. I thought the premise was pretty cracked, but hey, I know decent biology. I do have a bachelor's degree in neurobiology, physiology, behavior. So I know something. I wasn't good at it, mind, but I did get a degree in it. So I picked up some things, I assume. Or I hope. Not assume, presume, and hope. I do retain just things I find interesting, though. But let's start a new game. Long
ago in England in 1592, there begins our tale, and all of it is true. Through all of London, bubonic plague did spread, covering folk in weeping sores and leaving thousands dead.
I was gonna say that's delightful, and I didn't think it would be a musical type game. And then it brought up the bubonic plague. Huh. What can I press besides that? Okay, not much. Okay.
From towns and cities, doctors they did flee, leaving their patients to die in misery.
But one brave doctor stayed when all the cowards fled, might have been because he was too sick to leave his bed.
That doesn't seem like a positive interpretation. Okay.
Alas, 'tis my final hour. I will surely die. I am too far gone to recover, and for the plague there is no cure. Unless a cure might be found in the stars.
Okay. Choose one zodiac to diagnose the condition. Sagittarius. Okay. I have the plague characterized by loss of appetite, immoderate thirst, and pus-filled swellings behind the ears, in the armpits, and in the groin. These are symptoms of a fever provoked by excess sanguinity in the liver. Sanguinity? I think that has something to do with blood. Sagittarius, ruler of the liver. Jupiter, domicile in Sagittarius. This indicates a severe imbalance of the blood humor. Yeah, okay, so it does have something to do with blood. So I guess I press Y.
Let me see now. According to the stars, the way to cure the plague is to treat the fever it provokes. Oh, can it be true?
No.
Might a disease so monstrous as the plague be cured by treating it as if it were an exceeding bad fever?
No.
Then I must use powerful herbs to bring the fever to crisis and break it. Let me see now. Angelica and dandelion for heat, borage to provoke sweating, infuse them in wine, strain and distill the mixture to produce a most powerful strong water.
Are we dead? Did we just kill
Huzzah!
ourselves? Oh, okay.
I am cured. I shall now go forth with my miraculous strong water to cure all London of the plague.
No. Okay. Well, we are a crack doctor, I guess. Case summary. Querent, ourselves, Simon Forman. Scene the 13th of October, 1592, at 1600 hours. That's 4 p.m., I believe? Yes, it is. How might I be cured of the plague? I judged my plague symptoms as being provoked by a fever. I invented a new kind of strong water to cure it. That's not how you fix the plague, by the way. The plague is caused by a bacteria called Yersinia pestis. You're supposed to go to a doctor and get, like, antibiotics, I believe. It still exists. The plague still exists, especially around, like, rodents, because rodents and fleas carry it as vectors. But yeah, no, go to a professional doctor for this stuff. But since we're in the 1592s and don't have modern medicine, I guess we're going to be using our strong water. No letter of recommendation. We can't write a letter of rec for ourselves. This querent will return for another well, that guy is ourself. I shall cure Londoners of the plague. So wondrous will be my work that plays and songs will be written in my honor. Like this game, I suppose. Okay, if I press A, that's that.
Forman made a plague cure and used it on himself, then left his house to restore Londoners to health.
Huzzah! 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 Huzzah!
Simon Forman cured us of the plague. 'Tis true some details are a little vague,
But we know he knows astrology and knows his own strong water. So what if he be not a proper licensed doctor?
That's not how it works, but okay. Let's keep going.
Here comes a lady queer and a little warily. Her name is Elizabethan London. What can her trouble be?
Okay, our next patient. What's up with her?
God give you good day, madam. How may I...
Are you Mr. Forman? Mr. Simon Forman, the doctor?
Aye, madam, I am indeed Dr. Simon Forman. I bid you welcome to my consulting chambers. Mistress...
Allen, Mistress Avis Allen of Lambeth.
pray tell me your age, if you please, madam.
I am 33 years of age.
And how might I do you service this day, Mr. Allen? Pray describe your troubles to me.
Well, the pain started full late last eve upon retiring to bed. Oh, not that I am in the habit of retiring so late, but my husband did desire a special supper of cold meats to celebrate and give thanks in any case, it started in the night and it continued until dawning. That being the pain in my head and the chundering.
A moment whilst I make note of this. Headache and involuntary purging.
Okay, vomiting.
Is that all?
Aye, that is all. And thinking on it, my complaint to seem most trifling, and you are doubtless busy with important cases. Oh, like the plague! Yea, verily, mayhap I should not have come after all. Good day, Dr. Forman. I beseech you pardon me, for I have wasted your time.
Prithee, do not go, for I assure you, madam, your case verily is important to me. And 'tis important to you, is it not, Mistress Allen? Else you would not have come this day.
Well, aye.
Let us consult the stars now then, shall we? What is the cause of Mistress Allen's suffering?
Vomiting after cold cuts, waking up due to a headache. It sounds like she's pregnant. I was up all night with headache and chundering. What caused my suffering? Let's view cancer. Suffering from evil digestion. This suggests a mild imbalance of black bile in the body. Mistress Allen's troubles have been provoked by anxious passions associated with her being with child. This indicates a disturbance of the mind. She sounds pregnant. Her husband wanted to, celebrate something, right? That's what she said. Let's go this.
You are with child, Mistress Allen. 'Twas the reason for your celebration last even, methinks.
Aye, but how did you know?
I can see it in my chart, madam. There is a planet aligned with Scorpio at present, Scorpio being the constellation that rules over such matters. Pray tell, how long has it been since your monthly courses?
It has been 14 weeks since my courses, and yesterday I did feel the child quicken. So, indeed, 'twas the cause for our celebration, as you say. For I have been with child before, you see, but 'tis never. And Mr. Allen and I do pray this one will be born alive.
There, dear lady. The presence of the planet Mercury in my chart does suggest you suffer from anxious passions on account of your condition, and given your ill-favoured history, I warrant 'twas the twin burdens of hope and fear that provoked your troubles last even.
Oh, I see.
Pray take this flask of wine, madam. It has been infused with cloves, ginger root, and cinnamon. Drink of it each morning, and you should soon feel much improved.
Verily, I will do as you advise. I thank ye heartily, sir. Fare you well, Dr. Forman.
Fare you well, Mistress Allen.
Okay, wine though? I know historically clean water is hard to come by, so people drank wine, but this is very weird. No. Okay. So the querent did present with symptoms of headache and involuntary upward purging. I judged the querent as being with child. Methinks the querent is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. Reading? Well, at least this guy's not claiming to be a doctor or anything. Oh. We're good for her for, a letter of rec, at least. What a kind man Dr. Forman is, and so patient with me. Lady. Well, I guess given the time period, I do feel a little bad, but okay. Goodbye, lady.
Almighty God, watch o'er thy servant, servant, not blessed with sense and wisdom.
Oof. Okay.
Good day, sir. You are Simon Forman, the physician, are you not? These are your rooms.
Indeed, I am he, and well met, sir. Be it Thomas Blagg I have the honour of welcoming to my humble consulting chambers, the Dean of Rochester Cathedral?
Indeed, 'tis I, Thomas Blagg. Though it is not upon church business that I come to you this day. 'Tis upon a matter of my own that I require counsel. I have lately been offered some very lucrative investment opportunities, and, well, it is said that God speaks to us through the stars, does he not?
Indeed he does. 'Tis well known that astrology is but a conduit for the word of God, as interpreted using scientifical means. And now, these investments of which you speak, pray tell of them, if you please.
2 merchant ships will shortly set sail on very lucrative trading expeditions. I do not possess the coin to invest in both. Hence, I must choose between them. And I must choose very wisely indeed. For sea voyages are most perilous, and if my ship were to founder or be captured by pirates, I would lose my entire investment.
Aye, forsooth, 'twould be most lamentable, to say nothing of the poor souls who might lose their lives.
Who are, naturally, the greater of my concerns.
Aye, naturally. And whither might these ships be bound?
The first is bound for the Spice Islands of the East. 'Tis a voyage to be undertaken by a ship named the Conquering Cherub. The other is the Pride of Yarmouth. She is to bring back sugar from the Americas. Have you now the information you require? Then perchance you may divine for me upon which of these 2 ships our Lord God has bestowed his divine blessing.
Aye, Dean Blagg, we may now consult the stars. Should Thomas Blagg invest in the voyage of the Conquering Cherub, or that of the Pride of Yarmouth?
Dude, this isn't a medical question. Oh, okay. That introduction to this guy, I don't feel as bad anymore. Oh, this is different though. Okay. The ship's name should evoke a child who is victorious in battle. This represents victory. Blake's investments in trading voyage result in a change of fortune for him. Okay. That's vague though. The ship's name should evoke a woman who partakes in marriage. Does this mean he's getting married, or is it just talking about the Yarmouth? Well, this is just saying the cherub, because I think a cherub is like a child. Well, an angelic child? But this says a change of fortune, so I might as well go for the change of... I don't care if it's good or bad. It's a change. It's something.
First, I must advise you that your investment will bring about a change in fortune for you.
I should hope so. Indeed, it is the reason for my desire to make such an investment. But in which ship?
You must invest in the Bride of Yarmouth.
Oh, right, bride.
The Bride of Yarmouth? The Bride? But how on earth...
Allow me to explain, Dean Blagg. In the house of marriage, we see the planet Venus, which does represent femininity. And what is the feminine element of a wedding? 'Tis the bride. Ergo, the Bride of Yarmouth. Do you now see? I assure you, my logic is most sound.
Doubtless it is, though 'tis of no use to me, for I said nothing of a ship called the Bride of Yarmouth. 'Twas the Pride of Yarmouth. Pride, with a P.
Ah, verily. But I...
Oh, tush, Dr. Forman. I will not judge you harshly, for in truth I too do oft find myself thus befuddled. We elder gentlemen cannot expect to be as sharp as once we were, can we?
Sir, I hardly think we're of the same age.
Prithee, sirrah, as much as I would love to bide and discourse with you, It is almost time for my afternoon nap. Mayhap you would benefit from one also. Good day, Dr. Forman, and keep ye well.
So was I not supposed to... Maybe I should have gone with a cherub. Okay, I should have gone with a cherub. Querent did wish to know which of two trading expeditions would make the better investment. I did advise the Querent to invest in the voyage of the Bride of Yarmouth, but thinks the Querent took my advice a little ill. Yeah, okay. By process of elimination, it would now seem logical for me to invest in the Conquer... Okay, I should have gone with a cherub. So I have to be actually careful and pay attention to the details. Okay. Good to know.
Here comes Emma, shy and comely maid. All men who meet sweet Emma wish to come to her aid. Timid as a little bird, frighted by an unkind maid, be gentle, for she seems full afraid.
Pleasant, I suppose.
Good morrow, sir. Pray tell, are these the consulting chambers of Simon Forman, Doctor of Astrology and Physic?
Indeed, 'tis I, Dr. Simon Forman. And your name, madam?
Emma Sharp of Shoreditch, sir. 25 years of age.
Welcome, Miss Sharp. And how may I do you service this day?
Well, 'tis a trifle delicate. A man has asked me to be his wife. A dear, kind man, but... I fear you will think me cold, Dr. Forman.
There, madam, whatever is the matter?
Well, he is exceeding advanced in years. I do worry he may not be long for the world, and if he were to die, I do not think I could bear it. Verily, I would not. Indeed, methinks I would rather not marry him at all. Am I very heartless, Dr. Forman?
Nay, not in the least, madam. Your fears are most reasonable. A man in the winter of his life is indeed more likely to die. I assure you, madam, 'tis a medical fact. But methinks you wish to know whether this man be afflicted with a grave health condition, do you not? To wit, any ailment that might soon prove fatal?
Forsooth I do. That is my question precisely. Why, Dr. Forman, 'tis as if you have a gift for reading minds.
Merely the gift of logical surmise, madam. Let us see whether a judgment of the stars may calm your fears. Does Mr. What was your gentleman's name?
Mr. George Middleton, a wool merchant.
Does Mr. Middleton have any ailments that might hasten his death?
Mr. Middleton has been bewitched. The enchantment may prove fatal. Suggests a mild enchantment cast by a witch. This suggests a possibility of death. What? Libra. Suffers from dropping down of the piss. Characterized by involuntary urination. Exacerbated when combined with his fear of heights. Suggests severe vertigo. Fear of heights. Huh? Suffers from a cardiac passion, a condition that may end in death. This represents an imbalance of phlegm, suggests a mild imbalance of black bile. This illness cannot be cured. What the heck? An old man. Nothing points to these two from what the lady said, so I'm just gonna say, no, he's gonna die, as will we all one day.
I am full sorry, madam, but the stars give heavy news. Mr. Middleton suffers from a cardiac passion. Indeed, his heart may stop at any moment. He must avoid anything that might alarm or trouble his vital spirits. One shock could be enough to kill him.
Oh, woe, alas, poor Mr. Middleton. I thank ye for your kind understanding, Dr. Forman, and for your discretion in this matter. I will at once to my family go and beseech them not to make me accept Mr. Middleton's proposal. God give you good day, Dr. Forman.
You're 25? How old is the man you're getting proposed to? The querent did wish to know whether a man she wishes to marry does suffer from any grave health conditions. I did advise the querent that Mr. Middleton suffers from a cardiac passion and that he could die at any moment. Methinks the querent was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Who was that handsome manservant I passed at the door? Mayhaps one day I shall have a servant that cuts so fine a... Lady! Good night. Public notice. Beware, is the man treating you a qualified licensed doctor? London has lately been importuned by low-born charlatans claiming the title of doctor. These men have never attended university and therefore cannot be trusted. Okay. Any man found to be practicing medicine without a medical license shall be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Dr. Richard Smith, President of the College of Physicians. Well, Mr. Forman, your move, I guess.
Murdering would those doctors come.
Murdering those doctors come.
Murdering one fine day.
Those doctors will they slay.
Those doctors will they slay for me, slay for me. Will they send him to jail?
They send him to jail.
Well, Forman never claimed himself to be a doctor, right?
What is the meaning of this warning being put about by the College of Physicians? Do they mean to do me harm? It is true that I do not have a medical license. What am I to do? Mayhap the stars will advise me.
The College of Physicians has dark intention toward me. What should I do? Church of England can help me, for the Archbishop of Canterbury has a special power to grant medical licenses. This represents a religious authority, the head of the church. This sounds suspect. College of Physicians making war against me. If I am to become the best doctor in London, I must find a way to end this war. The authority of licensed doctors of London hold is primarily owing to their wealth and privilege. There is much that they do not know about physic. This represents ignorance. Okay, what's this one then? I must use a brilliant mind to forge strong relationships with my querents. The solution involves being sensitive to the needs of my querents. Use the church? I'm just gonna use the church. This is the most logical thing.
I see. These doctors have waged war against me, and the only way to stop them is to obtain a medical license. And in the House of Religion... Ah, yes, a reminder that the Archbishop has the power to grant such licenses. Mayhap I will one day find a way to petition him for one. In the meantime, I must serve my querents well, for if I do, they will doubtless favour me with letters of recommendation I can use to petition the University of Cambridge to grant me a license.
Without going to the University of Cambridge? Okay. I did wish to know how to protect myself from the dark intentions of the College of Physicians. The stars did advise me to petition the Archbishop of Canterbury for a medical license. I may also receive one if my querents, whom I must serve well, give me letters of recommendation. With such letters, I may convince the University of Cambridge to grant me a license. Oh, okay. We have... I guess each patient has like 6 cases.
Who's this man at the door who we've not seen before? Who's this man at the door who we've not seen before?
Who is come to inquire dressed in so strange attire? Tis
Signor
Ferraro.
Fancy.
Good day to you, sir. Oh, I see you're having some difficulties. William, fetch my guest a chair.
No, it's good. I am just a little stiff.
As you wish. Mr.
Signor Riccardo Ferraro. I am a gentleman of Venezia, come to make a trade in London.
Venice? 'Tis a fine city, I hear. And how may I do you service this day, Signor Ferraro?
I am come with una problema medicale, and you are most great dottore who does cure all London, eh? You cure Ferraro too, see?
Forsooth, I will seek to do so, Signor. Pray, describe your complaints, if you please.
Is burning when I make the water.
Pain during urination?
See, and is pain down here. Molto pain.
And pain in the lower back. Now, let us see what the stars can tell us. What ails Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
Sounds like a UTI. Or possibly, prostate cancer? Okay, pain during urination and lower back. What ails him? Suffers from the gout, which is caused by hot, dry humor seeping into the joints of the foot. This represents an imbalance of yellow bile, or choler, in the body. Suffers from stones. Oh, no. Could be kidney stones, yeah. Disease can occasion loss of appetite, severe pain in the kidney area, vomiting, and difficulty passing urine. Suggest a severe imbalance of phlegm in the body. Dysentery. Pain in the bowels, faintness, and oily stools. Kidney stones. Very painful, from my understanding.
'Tis a case of stones in the kidney, I regret to say. But worry not, Signor. I will give you an ounce of my strong water to dislodge them. Drink this entire flask when you rise at dawn tomorrow. You may then expect to evacuate the stones by way of your privy member within just a few hours.
Ah, your famous strong water. This water 'tis said to cure the plague, eh? I thank you, Signor Forman. And now Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
Yeah, I think unfortunately you can't really do anything with kidney stones. You just gotta wait for them to pass. That's why you get, like, pain meds for them, I guess. Querent did present with pain in the lower back and during urination. I did diagnose stones in the kidney and prescribed a flask of my strong water. But thanks to Querent, was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Interesting. He seems to exhibit at least a semblance of competence. Dude, I helped you with your kidney stones.
'Tis sure she is no beauty, 'tis true she lacks finesse, but every awkward hero needs his awkward princess.
Welcome back, Mistress Avis Allen, but, wow. This game doesn't pull any punches with its characters.
Ah, well met, Mistress Allen. Pray tell, the last time I saw you, you were with child, methinks. Pray tell, how fares...
I would rather not talk about that, if you please.
Oof.
Oh, I see. I am full sorry, madam. What
I'm
brings
come
you
upon...
this?
The matter
beg
that
your
brings...
pardon, madam. I prithee, madam, say on.
I'm come about the new law. I know not what to do, and I would have counsel.
You are in trouble with the law, madam?
Nay, at least not yet, but my neighbours have begun to remark unkindly upon my absences, my Sunday absences from church. I am afeard one of them may soon denounce me.
Ah, 'tis the Act Against Recusants you speak of. The law that obliges Catholics to attend church and take the English sacrament. You are of the Catholic faith, then, I take it?
I, a Catholic, but as well a law-abiding woman and a full loyal subject of the Queen. Long may she reign.
I do not doubt it, madam.
But to take the Protestant sacrament, 'tis heresy. So says the Pope in Rome. I risk being damned to hell if I do it, Dr. Forman. Verily, I find myself in a most terrible bind.
I see. Damned if you do, yet condemned if you do not. A cruel bind indeed. Well, let us see if the stars may untangle it for us. Should Mistress Avis Allen, attend Protestant church services.
Well, not being religious myself, this is very difficult. I'm Catholic. Should I obey the law and attend Protestant church services? Some have the wrong impression of the Allens' wealth and are envious. Jealousy suggests confusion. Mistress Allen's problem is her female neighbors. So either they're jealous of her or... Okay, there may be a creative solution for appeasing the Pope in Rome whilst also honoring England's Protestant legacy. It suggests creativity, represents foreigners. Avis must remain strong in her Catholic faith, for when the Queen dies, her successor may revert England back to Catholicism. This advises strength. This represents a surprising political event. This represents death. Mistress Allen risks getting in trouble with the law and being punished by the authorities. This represents authority. It's Mistress Allen's duty to cooperate. I don't think this is a problem of jealousy.
I fear the stars confirm your fears. You must attend church every Sunday, lest you risk being prosecuted for being a recusant.
Oh, but then what of my soul, Dr. Forman?
Methinks I have a solution for that, madam. If you were to cross your fingers behind your back during the service, any Protestant oath you swear would not count. Of course, you must be sure to stand at the back of the church while doing so that only God may see, and no one else.
Forsooth, what an ingenious notion! Oh, Dr. Forman, you have saved me. You are so wise, sir. 'Tis so. Verily, 'tis most admirable.
But, dear lady, 'tis you who is to be admired. The strength of resolve, your devotion to your faith, and your... Madam, would you care to see my collection of Venetian glassware?
I think I would. Indeed, I would like that very well.
Dude, she's married. Quern did wish to know whether she should comply with the law and attend Protestant church services, thereby betraying her Catholic faith. I'd advised Quern to attend church, but to cross her fingers behind her back during the service. Thanks to Quern is most pleased with me for the reading I get today. Coitus post Mr. Forman, how could you? God mend me, what have I done? If only I knew of a Jesuit priest, I might confess my sins. Dude! Lady, you're married too! Wow. Everyone in this game is not likable.
Here comes a beauty dark as night. Her hair does shine, her eyes are bright. A damsel formed for man's delight. Oh, she is quite a lady. Oh, she is quite a lady.
Are you going to sleep with her too, Forman?
Good day to you, sir. I am Amelia Bassano of Bishopsgate, here for my consultation.
Welcome, Mistress Bassano. Bassano, 'tis an Italian name, is it not?
Aye, it is, sir. Though I was born in London, my family are from Venice. They did come to London to gain employment as musicians at the royal court.
Ah, I know one of your countrymen, Riccardo Ferraro, another one of my querents. Mayhap you know him? He hails from Venice too.
No, sir, I do not know him. Venice is a large city, and as such 'tis home to many thousands of men. And as I did mention, I was born in London.
Aye, of course. Mayhap we turn our thoughts to what brings you hither this day. Have you a question for me?
Aye, sir, I wish to know what afflicts me, for my belly does begin to swell, and lately I oft find myself chundering after meals.
swollen abdomen, and involuntary upward purging. Well, now, let us consult the stars to judge the cause of these troubles. What is ailing Mistress Emilia Bassano?
It sounds like you pregnant too. Represents imbalance of phlegm in the body. Querent is with wait. Querent is suffering from liverworm. What the heck is liverworm? Querent is with child. Afflicted with crick in the knees. Caused by the pressure of excessive weight. What? That's rude. No, you sound pregnant, lady.
I neglected to ask. Is there a Mr. Bassano?
My father still lives.
I mean to say, are you yet married, Mistress Bassano? I presume you are, for the stars indicate that you are with child. Wondrous news indeed.
Ah, I see.
Of course, it is natural for a young lady to be a trifle anxious when she's expecting her first child. And I see you are anxious, are you not?
Mr. Forman, I own that I am.
Well, doubtless you are anxious owing to the unpredictable nature of your condition. For instance, sometimes the child might emerge from its mother's womb early, weeks or even months earlier than anticipated. This possibility is a medical fact, and one that should be explained to any husband you may... Do you see what I'm saying, Mistress Bassano?
Nay, not in the least, sir.
Some of my maiden querents, I assume you are still unmarried and therefore a maiden, when they find themselves inexplicably with child, they oft do not remain unmarried for long. I advise you to discuss this with your family without delay, Mistress Bassano. Doubtless they will be keen to make the arrangements for you.
I see. Yes, of course. I must lose no time in finding a husband. I thank you, Dr. Forman. Good day.
Does she not know who, like, the father is or something? Okay, Querent did present with a swollen abdomen and involuntary upward purging. I did judge the Querent as being with child. Methinks the Querent was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. And even thinking back on the character introduction. Wow, she gets around, I guess. I'm not sure. Doubtless Alfonso will consent to marry me, especially if Lord Hunsdon settles money on me for the child. You're gonna marry your cousin? Given the times, I guess it's common, but ew.
Mary Payne is frightened when she spies a looking glass, for 'tis a portal out through whence the gates of hell do blast. A deadly and foul wind that comes direct from Satan's mouth.
I wonder what they were trying to censor there. A looking glass. That's a mirror, I believe. Should be a handheld mirror.
Blessed morrow to you, Dr. Forman. I am Mary Payne of 4th Street in Lambeth, and come to seek your counsel about my neighbours.
Good morrow, Mistress Payne, and well met. What trouble do your neighbours give you? They play their lutes into the night, perchance? Mayhap a neighbour has cast a malignant spell upon your cabbages.
Why, sir, 'tis no trifling matter. Indeed, 'tis a matter of grave importance. Doubtless you do know we have a Catholic living on 4th Street, a woman by the name of Avis Allen.
Yes. I did hear tell that Mistress Allen subscribes to the Romish faith. But 'tis no crime to be a Catholic, is it, madam? At least, not at present.
Aye, but harbouring a Jesuit priest is, Dr. Forman. These evenings past, I have spied a man sneaking in and out of the Allens' house. 'Tis my reckoning the man is a priest who is going hither and thither all over Lambeth to perform the Catholic Mass and take confessions. Doubtless Mr. Allen is hiding him in one of those little cupboards.
You mean to say you think Mr. Allen has installed a priest hole in his house? A secret room hidden behind the wood panelling of a wall?
Indeed I do. I am certain that he has such a hole, and that a priest is going in and out of Mr. Allen's hole from dusk till dawn.
Verily? How troubling. But surely you are mistaken, madam, for under the cover of darkness, how can you be sure the man you did spy was not Mr. Allen himself?
Nay, 'twas not Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen is a fine, tall figure of a man, whereas the figure I did spy was very narrow and malformed in appearance. A scrawny little imp of a man he was.
I see.
Now, you must not think me intolerant, Dr. Forman. If Mistress Allen must cling to her idolatrous backward beliefs, 'tis her own affair, and I have no wish to cause trouble for the Allens. And 'tis true that Mistress Allen does now attend church on Sundays and takes the English sacrament just as she ought to. But we residents of Fore Street are decent English folk. We will not abide an agent of Rome sneaking around our neighbourhood, muttering incantations in some devilish foreign tongue.
I think you mean Latin, madam.
But before I act upon my suspicions, I think it wise to know if there be any truth in them.
Then let us see what the stars can tell us. Who is this mysterious stranger, and why does he frequent the Allen's house late at night?
Innuendos in that conversation. Okay. Are my neighbors the Allens hiding a Jesuit priest? Mistress Payne will die suddenly, mayhap before the end of this consultation. Narrow and malformed, a scrawny little imp of a man. This indicates a sudden change to suggest death. The man Mistress Payne saw harbors cruel intention towards the Allen's household goods and possessions. This suggests cruelty. Interesting. This speaks of a relationship of an untrustworthy foreigner, as foreigners are untrustworthy by nature. This element may be of no particular significance. Wow, there's a lot of microaggressions in that. Okay. Mistress Allen's maternal instincts have been thwarted by her inability to bear a child, but she stubbornly persists in trying to reverse her infertility. Stars speak of a man who adorns himself in fine clothes. The man Mistress Payne saw is a public enemy who engages in idolatrous worship of the Virgin Mary. In other words, he's given her description. It's not a priest, because I don't think a priest would be like finely dressed. Is it? Is it a thief?
The man you saw prowling around the Allen's house is no priest. He is a thief, come at night to steal silver plate and candlesticks.
'Tis a mere robber I saw. On my honour, that is well to hear. Still, something must be done about it. I will rouse the menfolk of Fore Street and have them patrol our street each night until this sneak thief is apprehended.
Ah, is that truly necessary, madam? Be there not more...
Pleasant day, Dr. Forman.
Querent did wish to know whether her neighbors, the Allens, are illegally hiding a Jesuit priest. I did tell the Querent that the man she took for a priest is a burglar, but thinks the Querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. How that affects the Allens, I'm quite afraid. What a fine-looking youth Forman's manservant is. Oh, would that I were my niece's age again. Who is Forman's servant? I want to see.
When the querent does rock a continental frock, when the querent does rock a continental frock, when his Italian fair features or facial hair, 'tis Signor Ferraro.
Well, it is Ferraro.
God give you good day, signor. And how may I assist you?
'Tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to see the great dottore, Simon Forman.
So I see. What brings you this day?
And why did you
I bring myself to you, so you trade my illness. 'Tis very grave.
And, what might this illness be? Perchance we might start with your complaints.
First problem is the laughter that cannot be controlled.
Uncontrollable laughter, you say? I see. Anything else?
Next problem, the dancing that cannot be controlled.
Uncontrollable dancing.
You're drunk, sir.
And yet, you do not appear to be dancing at present.
What can I say? 'Tis uncontrollable dancing. I cannot control when I dance.
Nay, 'tis a fair point.
Doubtless my disease, whatever it may be, is very rare and very difficult to diagnose. But of course, if it be beyond your medical understanding...
Let me assure you, signor, that whatever is said of us on the continent, the learning of we English doctors is unparalleled. There is no better medical care to be had than in London. Now, let us see whether the stars may tell us something of your unusual and troubling illness.
He's drunk. Signor Ferraro has been bitten by a tarantula on one of his ankles. Tarantula venom causes the victim to laugh, sing, or dance uncontrollably while also provoking an acute loathing of music. That's very specific. Suffering from colic. A disease that occasions abdominal pain, belching, and bloating of the stomach. He's belching so much. Sir, I believe you have whatever that may be.
It sounds to me like you're experiencing pain in your stomach.
But how did you know this?
Indeed, methinks you are stricken with a bout of colic. Most doctors do advise upward purging, but I have found the dog cure more efficacious in cases of colic.
The dog cure?
Aye. First you must find a dog lying idle on the ground. On any street in London you will find such a creature. Then you must kick the dog away, lower your breeches, and then make water upon the spot where the dog did lie.
If you say so, Signor Forman.
If we were not on English soil, of course, I would have said you were bitten by a tarantula. But there be no such spiders in England. Our weather is much too cold for them. Indeed, only an overqualified quack who draws his medical knowledge from books alone would think such a diagnosis appropriate in this case.
Indeed, most ludicrous.
And in truth, the laughing and dancing you are troubled with may doubtless be attributed to your hot-blooded Latin temperament.
Doubtless you speak it true, eh? 'Tis but a symptom of my hot Venetian blood. Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
So it was the tarantula. Okay, whoops. Querent did present with uncontrollable laughter and dancing. I did diagnose the bout of colic, having remarked Querent's abrupt exhalations of foul air. Dexter Querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. By what manner of dark manage did he learn of my stomach pain? Oh, it was colic. I don't know. Signor Ferraro did seem a little annoyed. But then again, Forman is kinda racist. I guess everyone in this time period is. Racist, religious. Everyone's got their own bias.
Why does this lady feel confined? Mayhap the world is too unkind. Nay, doctor, medicate her mind.
Pray cure this comely lady. Pray
cure this comely lady.
Are you not marrying your cousin?
Good day to you, madam.
Yes. Good day, Mr. Forman. Pray tell, is your Venetian querent Riccardo Ferraro one of the patients you treat for troubles of the mind? Forsooth, his manner is right strange. I passed him at the door, and when I addressed him in the Italian tongue, he abruptly turned from me and ran away down the street.
Nay, Signor Ferraro has no grave troubles of the mind that I'm aware of. Mayhap he was merely dumbstruck by your beauty, madam.
Dr. Forman, a man is rarely struck dumb by a woman's beauty. Indeed, 'tis quite the reverse. He is oft rendered all the more loquacious, plaguing her with ill-formed metaphors he believes are compliments, and with hasty declarations and invitations she has neither sought nor invited.
Ah, quite. But let us turn our minds to happier thoughts. I did lately hear of your marriage to your cousin, Mr. Alfonso Lania, for which I must congratulate you. And as I recall, you were with child when I last saw you.
Aye, I was, as you correctly judged.
And your child and husband are both well, I hope?
I would rather not discourse on the subject of my husband, Dr. Forman.
As it pleases you, madam. What brings you this day?
Lately I have been feeling heavy and lethargic. I do also find it hard to fix my attention upon the book I am reading or upon words I am composing. And yet, although I oft feel right tired, I am having difficulty sleeping.
Ah, well, becoming a mother, beset with all the demands of a suckling babe, can force change upon the normal rhythms of life.
Nay, 'tis not that, for I have employed a wet nurse for the feeding and much of the care of my son. Methinks I must have some kind of disease.
I see. Let us consult the stars to see what afflicts you. What is ailing Mistress Amelia Lania?
Postpartum depression? I feel heavy and lethargic, yet I cannot sleep. What ails me? Suffers from melancholy. Be in excess of black bile. Wait, what? It's curable. Phlegmatism? Temperament associated with an excess of phlegm, characterized by stoicism and stubbornness. Choleric temperament associated with excess of yellow bile, exhibit an aggressive, opinionated nature. I think it's melancholy. It sounds like a depression of some sort.
Mistress Lania, the stars indicate that your suffering is occasioned by melancholy, or, in other words, black bile.
I see. And what treatment can you give me for it?
Before we speak of treating your condition, madam, I think it wise we determine what has provoked it. You did express a desire not to speak of your husband, and I cannot help but think that such a reluctance reveals where the source of your troubles might lie, to wit, within your marriage. Would I be right in thinking this? I do not wish to cause you distress, madam, but as a doctor, I do feel I must press you in case it is relevant to your troubles.
My marriage is not a happy one, Dr. Forman. Mr. Lanier and I do not agree on matters of money and strong drink.
I see. And what are your opinions on these subjects?
That he spends all our money on strong drink. He disagrees.
And your husband cannot be brought around to see your point of view, nor you his, I presume. Well, the marital discord provoked by strong differences of opinion can oft engender melancholy in a wife. Until the matter is resolved between you, you may take a syrup of roses and chicory. Drink of it each day, and it will serve to reinvigorate your vital spirits. I will also have my manservant William bleed you of some of that excess bile.
I thank ye, Dr. Forman.
William, come hither and bleed Mistress Lania.
Yes, bleeding. Medical practice that is kind of wrong and doesn't really help. Because, you need blood. Okay. Querent did present with symptoms of heaviness, lethargy, troubled sleep, and an unnatural pallor. I did advise the Querent that she suffered from melancholy. I had her bled and prescribed the treatment of rose and chicory syrup. Methinks the Querent is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. Mayhap bleeding my husband would cure him of his taste for strong drink. Very vigorous. Okay. You're gonna kill your cousin husband person? I guess that's one solution, lady. Sir, I thank you for your recent inquiry with regards to obtaining a license to practice medicine. I note from our records that you terminated your enrollment at our institution some years ago on the grounds of insufficient funds. Whilst we do not ordinarily issue medical license to men who have not first completed a medical degree, proof of equivalent professional experience in the form of letters of recommendation may be taken into consideration. Minimum of 8 such letters of recommendation is customarily required. I advise you to write to us again once you have obtained a requisite number of letters. John Cowell, Vice Chancellor of the University of Cambridge. 8? 8? That's excessive.
What is their relation? We are no longer sure. Seems Forman's now a patient, and Davis is the cure.
That's wrong. That's very wrong.
Ah, my dear Avis, what a pleasure it is to see you. I have oft thought of our love.
I cannot tarry long. My husband will be expecting me home.
Of course. But, dear lady, is something the matter?
Of course. Do not all your querents come with a matter they wish an answer to?
Well, yes, but...
I wish to ask of the stars whether a man I am close with, a man who is not my husband, whether that man be also close with another woman.
A man you are... I see. Well, if I am to judge the stars for you, I must ask you to be more precise. In what sense do you mean close? The platonic bond of friendship?
Nay, close in the sense of being intimate.
I see. Then 'tis the familial tie of kinship, perchance.
Nay, I mean someone with whom I have shared physical relations.
Verily, madam, if I am to give you an accurate reading, you must state your question clearly.
Methinks you know full well what I ask. I bid you ask the stars whether my lover is, that is to say, be it true that he engages with another woman in acts of strumpy-humpy.
Madam, you astonish me. 'Tis unlike you to speak such indelicate words. Now, if I understand you correctly, you have a lover, and you wish to know whether he has been sharing his tender favours with another woman.
Aye, but did I not verily say so?
And now that we have at last fathomed your question, let us read the stars to fathom an answer. Has Mistress Allen's lover been unfaithful to her?
I don't think so, Forman. Shouldn't you know? Is my lover engaging in intimacies with another woman? I don't know. This consultation will provoke unexpected intimacies between me and Avis. This is wrong. I feel dirty. Mistress Allen should be more optimistic about her romance with this man. Mistress Allen's mind has been turned by jealousy and confusion. Mistress Allen's lover is seeing a woman who's willing and able to marry him. He wishes to continue his family life. You don't give that. You don't give that vibe at all. Okay. Mistress Allen no longer pleases her lover. The spark has been lost. Mistress Allen's lover wishes to father a child. Nah.
The stars are most clear, madam. Your lover has not been coupling with another woman.
He has not?
Forsooth, the stars say that your mind has been turned by jealousy and confusion. Now, if there is nothing further, madam...
Oh, how relieved I am to hear you say this. Oh, Simon, what a fool I have been not to trust you.
But you... this lover... 'twas me all along? You were not speaking of some other man?
I beseech you, pardon me, Simon. I had to know the truth from the stars, for I did hear tell of other women.
But how could you not see? No other woman is to me so dear, and verily is it not clear to you that I...
Do you verily, Simon?
Oh, my dear, sweet Avis.
Well, they went to bed again, I'm guessing. Querent did wish to know whether her lover is engaging in intimacies with another woman. I did advise the Querent that her lover remained loyal to her. The Querent revealed that I was the lover she was referring to. This caused confusion, though it was quickly resolved. Thanks to Querent is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. Coitus post consultatio. Again. Of course. Thanks, lady. Can we not see each other anymore? Verily, it was very wrong of me to doubt him so. It's also wrong of you to be, like, sleeping with him. What about your husband?
Cyril Fortescue always has what's new. Far ahead of friends of friends. She oft gets her hands on goods from foreign lands.
That captain
he sends.
She looks rich. Sounds rich. Married to a sea captain, I suppose.
Good morrow, madam. I humbly welcome you to my consulting chambers, and thank you for choosing my practice. Mistress...
Fortescue. Mistress Sybil Fortescue.
Well then, Mistress Fortescue, what may I assist you with this day?
I come upon a most troubling matter, sir. I know not whether it is a medical matter or something else.
I see. Pray describe your trouble to me, madam.
Well, I suppose it all began with a dinner I hosted at my house last even. Mayhap you have heard of my dinners, Dr. Forman. They are much talked about. Though I fear last evening's dinner will be talked about for all the wrong reasons.
Talked about, you say?
Yes, indeed, invitations to my dinners are much sought after, for I host the most desirable of guests, lords, bishops, poets, explorers, painters, and the like. Why, last eve I hosted the famous Robert Lord Devereux, the playwright William Shakespeare, and the Bishop of London and his wife. As well as fascinating conversation, at my table I serve the very latest and most original dishes. Last even, I served an exotic green vegetable called a portato. So crisp and refreshing. My dear husband sent them home to me from the New World. Doubtless you have heard of my husband, Captain Fortescue. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh.
I see. Your dinners do sound most excellent, Mistress Fortescue. But what occurred at last eve's dinner that has you so distressed?
Well, in truth, 'twas after dinner. We all felt a strong desire to take some air, and so we left the table to take a turn in some pleasure gardens nearby. But then, as we were walking along the path, right in the middle of the gardens, in full public view...
Pray do not distress yourself, madam. Prithee, take your time.
My guests and I were, all of a sudden, stricken with pain. We began chundering and voiding from our... But there was nowhere to turn, you see. There were no bushes close by to shield our modesty. 'Twas unspeakable.
A moment, madam, as I note this down. Abdominal pain and simultaneous upward and downward purging of a most sudden and violent nature.
Oh, I know what happened.
Now, let us see how these stars explain this most distressing and unsavoury event. What troubled Mistress Sybil Fortescue and her guests last eve?
But yeah, I was staring at her monkey the entire time. I didn't realize she had a monkey till like a few seconds in. And why'd she give it a collar? Poor monkey. Anyway, green potato. You're not supposed to have green potatoes because that means they photosynthesize, and I think they produce some sort of toxin when they photosynthesize. I mean, they are a root vegetable, or yeah, root tuber. That's a vegetable, I think. They grow underground. They're not supposed to photosynthesize. Okay, my guest and I were stricken last eve with abdominal pain, chundering, and voiding from the fundament. What ailed us? evil digestion, chili cold, underrated, evil digestion.
Madam, I think you said the New World vegetables you dined upon were green in colour, did you not? And you described them as crisp and refreshing, I think. I take it then that you served them to your guests green and raw?
Yes, indeed. Most of the potatoes my husband sent me were full, dull, and unhealthsome in appearance. Hence I served only the green ones. I had my cook cut them in such a way as to resemble roses. 'Tis the way I oft serve my apples.
Ew.
Ah, then your trouble was a severe case of evil digestion. I have read that these vegetables can be noxious if they turn green.
Oh, my days! Do you mean I poisoned my guests?
In a manner of speaking, aye. But worry not, madam, for the suffering was but temporary. Indeed, it does sound as if the bodies of your guests were most comprehensively purged of the poison. However, in future, be sure to cook the potatoes until they are soft, and pray do not eat the ones that have turned green.
As God shall mend me! What a shameful affair this has been! I shall go home and, well, I shall write to my husband and ask that he includes cooking instructions with the next gift of food that he sends me. I thank ye and bid ye good day, Dr. Forman.
Goodbye, lady. Quarren did present with symptoms of both upward and downward involuntary purging, abdominal pain, and fever. I did diagnose evil digestion provoked by the consumption of raw green potatoes. Thinks that Quarren is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. Nice. What a fine-looking young man Dr. Forman has for... Why do you ladies keep mentioning the manservant? I want to see William.
Here comes a literary mind, one such as we do rarely find. Just needs a man to be behind, for she's but a lady.
That's somewhat degrading, but it is the time period.
Good even, Miss Lanier. What brings you?
I am come about my future, Dr. Forman. I wish to know whether I will find success as a writer of poems and plays. You can predict futures, can you not?
You, madam? A writer of poems and of plays? Forsooth, how verily remarkable.
Well, 'tis true most of us Bassanos and Laniers are musicians, but I have chosen a different path. I've lately begun a collaboration with a poet and playwright. Let us call him Mr. S.
Shakespeare?
He is presently writing a play that takes place in northern Italy, and as I am of Italian heritage, he has asked me to help him write it.
How interesting. And does this collaboration betwixt you go well?
Right well, or so methinks. Indeed, Mr. S. did suggest that I am full talented as a writer. Be not afraid of greatness, he told me. For once our play opens upon the London stage, our success will follow, as night follows day.
I see. Then what would you have me ask the stars, madam?
Well, I've noted that Mr. S., although a brilliant man, is oft prone to exaggerated melodrama and implausible plot resolutions. I wish to know whether this story of his, of our future success, is true.
Very wise of you, madam. Then let us see whether your success or failure is writ in the stars.
I want you to
Will
succeed.
Mistress Amelia Lanier find fame and fortune as a writer?
Do I know Amelia Lanier as historically? I don't think so. I don't really pay attention to people in history, just events. Because the events are very interesting. And, like, big major people behind those events. No one cares about those small people. A shame, really. I want this lady to be successful, though. So let's see if she can. If Mistress Lanier maintains optimism, her ambitions will be realized. Not only will she be successful, her work will lead to transformative and surprising political change. Mistress Lanier and her writing partner work well together. That's what I want. Stars urge Mistress Lanier to be more sensitive to the needs of her child. That is very limiting and upsetting. House warns of a legacy marred by deceit and jealousy. Speaks of Mr. S indulging in creative theft. I'm assuming it's Shakespeare. Nah, she should go for it.
It would seem Mr. S.'s confidence is not misplaced, for the stars foretell that if you have faith in your success, you will succeed. And your contribution to the world will reach beyond literature to be of great benefit to society.
So, in order to succeed, I must hold fast to a belief that I will succeed.
Yes.
Just so, madam.
But what you are asking of me is right and logical, Dr. Forman. Indeed, 'tis an impossibility. How can I maintain a belief that my success is inevitable when you have just informed me that my success is conditional and contingent? As
Lady.
Aristotle teaches...
Mistress Lanier, mayhap I have confounded you with the nuances of my astrological reading. All you need know is that the achievement of your goals is very likely. Indeed, 'tis indicated that your collaboration with Mr. S will be a fruitful one. Prithee, madam, look not for bad news among the good.
Aye, mayhap 'tis best I not overthink it, as you say. I thank ye, sir. Good even, Dr. Forman.
I mean, something can... It's a weird circular type of logic which both conditions and the results feed into one another. But okay. Querent did wish to know whether her activities as a writer would bring her success. I did advise Querent that her collaboration with Mr. S was fruitful and would bring her success. Thanks to Querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. If only I could forget what he said about my success being conditional. Fie, how would Euclid have solved this conundrum? You just believe in yourself and do what you can.
Mistress Davis Allen, the love of Forman's life, how futile 'tis to fall for another man's wife.
This again.
Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you, madam. What service may I perform for you this day?
For me? None. None at all.
Verily. Then I cannot fathom why you...
It was my husband who bade me come, for he finds it difficult to speak of... As I say, he had me come in his stead, and I could think of no reason to give him for why I should not come.
I see. Then what is troubling your husband? Madam, I cannot treat a querent without knowing first what his troubles are.
He is unable to perform his marital duties.
I see, and whatever does that mean? Your husband forgets to put out the night soil? Some broken shelving he has neglected to fix? Prithee, madam, I bid you be more precise.
You know perfectly well what I mean, Simon. I bid you not drag this out any longer. Pray read the stars and let us get this over with.
As you wish, madam. Now, let us see. What ails Mr. Allen so as to render him unable to perform his marital obligations towards Mistress Allen?
Does he know? Oh, okay. My husband is unable to rise to an occasion when importing his marital duties. What ails him? Loss of carnal lust. Wait. This is just a mild enchantment cast by a witch? Funny. Cold in the heart. Long-lasting disturbance of the mind. Crick in the back? No, it's not that one. His illness will get worse before it gets better. This will be long-lasting. which benefits Forman. As much as I don't like Forman, if he wants this affair to keep going, I need to pick carefully. Ruler of the heart, ruler of the head. Disturbance of the mind, deficiency of blood. Sure.
Your husband is suffering from a lack of sanguinity in the brain, which has resulted in a loss of carnal lust. According to my chart, there is little hope of remedy.
Verily, no hope at all?
Nay, I'm afeard not.
Oh, then Mr. Allen is not, cannot be a full husband to me. At least not in the full, true sense of being a husband.
Precisely so. And as a physician, it behoves me to observe how unnatural and lamentable it is that a wife be so neglected.
Oh, Simon.
Oh, my darling Avis.
Query did come on behalf of her husband, who it would appear does suffer from dysfunction of the privy member. I judged Mr. Allen as suffering from a loss of carnal lust and that it could not be remedied. This, I must own, was not entirely true. Yeah, you lied. It said it would get worse before it would get better. Methinks the Query is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. Quietus post consultatio. Disgusting. I shall say 100 Hail Marys before bed this even night. Nay, 200. It doesn't make it better.
What? Doctors against him do make war. Doctors against him do make war. He makes love without a care.
Tis true, Avis is not his by law.
But in love and war is fair. But in love and war is fair.
Disgusting.
Last even, 'twas like a dream. Never in my life have I felt so. Oh, my sweet Avis, 'tis true you are married, but surely a love as great as ours can transcend such earthly impediments. Dare I hope for... Nay, 'tis most unlikely. Or is it? Forsooth, there be no harm in asking the stars. Might Avis Allen one day be mine?
You're delusional, but okay. Loyalties lie with her family. What family? It's just her husband. Avis has betrayed her marriage vows. The damage this has wrought upon her marriage cannot be undone, and her past cannot be erased. I may be optimistic, for Mr. Allen will suffer ill luck and die. Avis will be free to marry me. Dude! I am not seeing things clearly. If I knew the truth about the relationship, I would presently be seething with jealousy. Avis is cunningly hiding a secret from me. I guess we're gonna kill her husband.
It says Avis is one day to be widowed, which will, of course, be very tragical. But after the grieving is done, we will marry. She will be Mistress Forman. Mistress Avis Forman.
Sure thing, buddy. Will Avis and I ever be wed? I judged that Mr. Allen would one day die, leaving Avis Allen free to marry me. What happened to being a doctor, huh? I only got one letter out of 8. Jeez. I wonder how Avis will wish to furnish my house. Doubtless she will require the purchase of many cushions. You're despicable.
Almighty God, lead thy servant forth away from sin.
This guy's back. Unfortunate.
Good day, Dean Blug. Fare you well?
Most well indeed, and I will tell you why. The conquering cherub has lately returned home to England.
Ah, this being the voyage you did invest in.
Aye, and what a sound investment it was, for it has paid off most handsomely. The cherub's cargo of nutmeg and pepper will fetch a high price indeed. Forsooth, my earnings have enabled me to make a substantial investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World.
Ah, methinks I've heard of this. 'Tis a quest to find the fabled lost city of gold, is it not? Or as the Spanish call it, El Dorado?
The very same. For it is said that El Dorado does lie deep within the rainforests of the southern parts of the New World, hiding vast quantities of gold and precious jewels. Hence, what I would have you tell me is, exactly how rich can I expect to be made from my investment?
I see.
For if I am to be made very rich, I am afeard that news of my fabulous wealth may cause some jealousy among the clergy. News travels fast around the diocese, and I think it wise to get ahead of it if I can.
Then let us consult the stars. What will become of Thomas Blug's investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's quest to find El Dorado?
Why are you part of the church, sir? Like, at all? Expedition will encounter foreigners who are stubborn, confident, led by instinct. Blake's business partners will be wet with violence. I feel like historically that's accurate. Blake's finances will bring him unhappiness. There's cause for pessimism and a surprising reversal to save the lives of children. That has nothing to do with this. Blake will be able to leave his children a legacy of fine things. God rewards exploration. No, I feel like historically things are not going to end well.
I have ill tidings for you, Dean Blug. Raleigh and his men have been set upon by a tribe of angry New World natives.
Angry natives? But surely the natives would greet us with much rejoicing. For do we not bring with us the gift of civilization? Would they not crave freedom from their tyrannical chieftains and cruel pagan gods?
Well, it would seem these particular natives cannot be reasoned with, as they are led by instinct alone, and they will fight to the last man, as it is not in their nature to surrender with honor, as Christian men would.
Truly? But,
Alas, I am afeard that Raleigh shall be forced to abandon his search for El Dorado, and your investment will come to naught.
I must own, sir, that I cannot share your uncharitable view of these savages. They may be heathens, but are they not still God's children? I will now take my leave, that you may engage in quiet reflection upon the spiritual dimensions of this question.
Yeah, but, like, Foreman's kind of racist. You kind of are, too. For different reasons. Okay, Quarren didn't wish to know the fate of his investment in an expedition to El Dorado, the fabled city of gold. I'm screwing this man up a lot. I don't know what he wants at all. I did warn the Quarren that Raleigh's search for El Dorado would be aborted due to local resistance. Thinks the Quarren took my advice a little ill. Well, sucks for him when he loses his gold. Mayhap I invest in tulip bulbs. I hear young merchants say such bulbs will one day replace silver as the new coin. Ah, yes. I heard of this. It ended up being a bust. It's kind of like how coin collecting was a huge thing, but then it led to, like, an economic collapse in that business. Because, like, people were inflating the prices, and it turned out it wasn't worth anything at all. You're gonna lose your money, sir.
When the symptoms are rare and the questions are
When the symptoms are rare and the questions are queer,
when the melodies are strange and easy, 'tis Ferraro.
Please don't belch this time.
Good morrow, sir, and well met.
Indeed, 'tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to the great Dottore Simon Forman.
Aye, and I can see why you are come. Methinks you are not well, signor. The colour of your face is quite alarming.
It is because I am losing the blood. The blood does drain away from my face, away down my body, and out of my...
You are bleeding from your fundament. How much have you been bleeding, and for how long?
Un poco, not too much. It does come and go. Sometimes blood, sometimes no blood. You stop the blood, see?
Mayhap I will, but first I must consult the stars to find a diagnosis. What ails Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
Bleeding from the ear. That's not good at all. Bleeding from my fundament. What ails me? Hemorrhoids, which are swellings in the anus and rectum. Blind hemorrhoids cause pain, whereas open hemorrhoids are apt to bleed. That might be it, actually. Jaundice. A blockage in Signor Ferraro's neck has caused color to pool in his head, turning his face yellow. No. Jaundice means something's wrong with his liver. But I'm pretty sure it's just a basic case of hemorrhoids. Because he's just bleeding.
There is nothing here to worry about, Signor Ferraro. Your body is merely purging itself of corrupted blood, in a similar manner to that which does occur in a woman's nethers each month.
No.
To wit, 'tis most healthsome and natural.
No.
Are you sure? Are you sure that is your final answer?
Indeed it is. I do assure you, Signor, 'tis the very latest medical thinking on the subject of hemorrhoids. You are welcome to procure a second opinion, but I warrant you will find that most doctors in London will tell you the same.
Then Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day, Signor Forman.
Hemorrhoids are not natural or good for you, but okay. Querent did present with the symptom of bleeding from the fundament. I did diagnose hemorrhoids and told the querent that bleeding from them is as natural as a woman's monthly courses, which it is not, by the way. But thanks to querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Textbook answer, but it is not hard for a common man to procure a medical book nowadays. I just want another letter of love.
This woman has a gift for words. If only she had riches words, they'd probably be much better words. Though written by a lady.
This lady's just unfortunate.
Did you see that?
See what, madam?
Your querent, Signor Ferraro, scuttling away from me like a frighted rabbit. What have I ever done to upset the man? All I did was wish him buongiorno as I passed him at the door.
Verily, Signor Ferraro's behaviour does sound full strange. But let us not think of him, but of the matter that brings you hither, Mistress Lanier. How do you fare?
I fare most well, in the main. For you spoke true when you said my collaboration with Mr. S would be fruitful. 'Tis going exceeding well. Verily, Dr. Forman, I would be right content with my lot at present if it were not for the trouble I am come about this day.
Pray, tell me of this trouble, madam.
I am being prowled. Oftentimes in the night I see him following me home. One time methinks I even caught him looking at me through my window. I would have you tell me who this prowling man might be.
A prowler? How very worrisome. Can you describe this man to me?
Nay, for 'tis always at night that I spy him, and I have always been too frighted for my eyes to linger upon him very long.
Then let us see what light the stars can shed upon the identity of this man who hides himself in darkness. Who is the man prowling Mistress Lanier?
How are we supposed to know that? Okay. Violent husband. Prowler hopes for a reversal of all the ill luck he has had with Mistress Lanier. He harbors a misguided hope that she will perform her wifely duties and resume intimate relations with him. Possible. Suffering mental confusion owing to her religious beliefs, she also harbors an unjustified level of mistrust towards prospective romantic partners. That sounds like her problem with Ferraro, but that's not the case here. Prowler is a man of authority and master of wit. Mistress Lanier considers him a friend. A friend doesn't prowl outside your home. Prowler harbors undeclared feelings for... it's probably the first case.
Madam, how have relations betwixt you and Mr. Lanier been of late? Does he exhibit any signs of a cruel or controlling nature? Is he prone to violence?
Aye, indeed, Dr. Forman. My husband uses uncouth words, throws my books about, and even breaks chairs when he is in a temper. All the more so after he overindulges in
I am full sorry to hear it, madam, but it does solve our mystery, for the stars suggest that it is none other than your husband who has been prowling you.
Verily, in truth, it does not surprise me. I will to home go and tell my husband...
Prithee, madam, for the sake of your safety, act not in haste. If confronted, your husband may do you harm.
There is truth in what you say. Forsooth, if Alfonso would spend his evenings following me about, mayhap I leave him to it. For if he hopes to catch me cuckolding him with another man, he will be exceeding disappointed.
Yeah, there's that, I guess. Querent believed she was being prowled by a man and did wish to know his identity. I did advise Querent that her husband, Mr. Lanier, was her prowler. Methinks Querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. So close. Maybe mayhap Alfonso thinks I am betting Mr. S? Nay, Alfonso knows me better than that.
Hear ye, hear ye! Sir Walter Raleigh fails to find legendary Treasure City. Rumours say next Raleigh voyage is to Pot of Gold at End of Rainbow. Hear ye!
Oh, that's harsh. Reports have lately come in that Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World in search of El Dorado has been a colossal cluster fail. Despite Raleigh's assurances to the Queen that he would return with gold raided from the legendary city, it is said that Raleigh's ships bring back naught but potatoes. Experts predict Her Majesty's reaction to be somewhat testy. Take that, Bleg. I hope you lost all your money.
Here comes Emma, so kind is she,
To the frail and aged she offers
sympathy. What is she for others have? Especially when they're born of wealth. Here comes Emma, so kind-hearted is she.
You know, if the old man you were going to marry was rich, shouldn't you have married him?
Good day to you, Mistress Sharp.
Good day, Dr. Forman. But I am Mistress Delamere now.
Mistress Delamere? But as I recall from my case notes... let me see now. 'Twas 3 years past. Aye, were you not hoping to marry a man named George Middleton?
Oh, yes. I did marry Mr. Middleton. For though I did tell my family what you said about his condition of the heart, they quite insisted that I marry him. And truly, they were full wrong to do so, for just as you predicted, Mr. Middleton did verily die of his cardiac passion, mere months after we were wed.
So soon? How very tragical.
I blame the Scotsman who took to playing his bagpipes below our bedroom window at odd hours of the day and night. Such a bothersome man. Betwixt him and the vipers Mr. Middleton discovered one morning nesting in his undergarments, I fear 'twas all too much for his poor, weak heart.
Did you murder him?
There, my dear lady. How distressing your late husband's death must have been for you.
Aye, indeed, Dr. Forman, so much so that my friends urged me to marry again, lest I die of grief. But now that I am once more a wife, I would not wish to be widowed anew, and John Delamere, my present husband, is also an older man. Dr. Forman, You must tell me whether there be any illness he has, whether there be anything I might do to save my dear sweet husband from an early death.
Then let us see what the stars have to say. Is Mr. John Delamere troubled with any condition that may cause him to die?
Cardiac passion. Again. Bewitched. Troubled with quinsy, a condition characterized by soreness in the throat. I don't know anything about this man. You didn't give me much to work with. Do you not want him to die? Do you want him to... I can't tell with you. Let's just go with the most mild, I guess.
Your husband suffers from quinsy, madam.
Oh, you mean to say he has a sore throat?
'Tis a trifle graver than that, madam, but to be sure, quinsy is not fatal. To hasten your Mr. Delamere's recovery, there is a most effective treatment that you may wish to try. A moment, prithee, madam, while I consult my medical handbook. Yes. To treat quinsy, stroke the patient's swollen throat with the hand of a fresh corpse.
Why?
I am to find a dead man's hand and use it to stroke my husband's neck.
Aye. I do not usually offer this treatment myself, so I will direct you to a specialist. Jack Stiles, the hangman at Tyburn. Tell Mr. Stiles that Dr. Simon Forman sent you, and he will give you a fair price for a few minutes with one of the corpses.
I will be sure to. And that is all. My husband has no grave condition that threatens his life.
Nay, madam. Aside from the quinsy, your husband appears to be in very fine health.
By my troth, how wondrous. I thank ye heartily for your reassurance, Dr. Forman. Good day.
Please leave. Gwen did wish to know if her husband, Mr. John Delamere, does suffer from any grave condition. I did judge Mr. Delamere as suffering from quinsy. I advised her to purchase a few minutes with a fresh corpse from the hangman at Tyburn so that she may brush her husband's throat with the dead man's hand. Methinks the querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Disgusting. Take my husband to the hangings at Tyburn? How absurd. Unless... Are you gonna murder him?
Sibyl's a fine host, of this she will oft boast. She loves to entertain, she loves to entertain. Though hard she does try, her dinners go awry. And in tears and shame.
If she wasn't so pretentious, it wouldn't end in tears and shame. Okay.
Good morrow, Mistress Fortescue. How may I help you this day?
I did lately experience feelings of a most strange and disturbing nature, for which I desire an explanation.
I see. Prithee describe these feelings to me, madam. When did they occur?
Last eve, at a dinner party hosted by my dear friend Mistress Emma Delamere. All was well at first, but soon after my arrival I was stricken with a kind of madness.
Madness, you say?
Yes, moments during which I found myself overcome with feelings of mirth, laughing most immoderately at the dullest of remarks made by other guests. At other times I felt an unnatural fascination with the shape of the candelabra in the table's centrepiece. And all the while I was so ravenous with hunger, I quite absent-mindedly ate all the sweetmeats at my end of the table. I fear my rapaciousness did not escape the notice of guests seated beside me.
Such an immoderate appetite is out of character for you, I take it. It could not have merely been occasioned by anxious passions?
Why, nay, Dr. Forman. Forsooth, I ought to have been very calm last eve, for I did spend the afternoon inhaling the fumes of an aromatic oil, a gift from my sweet husband, sent back from his explorations in the Near East. I did mention my husband, Captain Henry Fortescue, before, I think. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh. Oh, Henry and Sir Walter find the oil most relaxing, so he tells me.
Yet you were not so very relaxed last eve, I take it.
No, not in the least. For I fear a capricious spell was cast upon me. Over the course of the evening, I developed the strongest intuition that malignant forces were present in the room, and that I had been bewitched. Could it be true, Dr. Forman? Might a witch have cast a spell on me?
That is something we shall have to ask the stars, madam. Let us see. What was it that afflicted Mistress Sybil Fortescue last eve at dinner?
She was high. Trouble with melancholy, a condition characterized by lethargy, anxiety, and sadness. She's been bewitched. Smoke inhalation. Yes.
Now, madam, the oil your husband sent you. This was the first time you did inhale its fumes, methinks.
Yes, the shipment of gifts from my husband did only lately arrive.
Then I think we have your answer. I have read some interesting tales of such oils and herbs of the Near East. 'Tis said they occasion certain temperaments, to wit, an excessive sanguinity, which will have caused the immoderate laughter and increased appetite. They can also provoke a narrowing of the mind, which would explain your temporary fascination with the candelabra, and I believe the fumes of this oil may also have been responsible for the notion that you have been bewitched.
And the men of the Near East gain pleasure from this oil? They would render themselves foolish on purpose?
Aye, indeed. Foreigners have many strange customs and desires that we cannot hope to understand.
How fascinating! I thank you for this explanation, sir. Indeed, 'twill make for a most diverting tale with which to regale guests at my next dinner. God give you good morrow, Dr. Forman.
Well, you cultured a-holes can go about your way now. Quarren did come seek an explanation for her strange behavior at a dinner hosted by Mistress Emma Delamere. Did judge de Quarren's strange behavior as having been provoked by the inhalation of smoke from an oil obtained in the Near East. I think that de Quarren is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. She gives me a huge boost. Okay. Wonder if Dr. Forman's manservant was ever in the Navy. His arms do appear Please stop hitting on the manservant. He's just a worker here.
Another consultation. Will this one end in bed? Or will Mistress Allen slap him round the head?
Yes?
Good day, Mistress Allen. What brings you this day? Oh, dear lady, you tremble like a leaf on an autumn day.
Aye, for I am most affrighted. But Mr. Allen says he thinks I worry over naught. So I am come to you, for methinks you would... Perchance you may help me.
By my troth, Pray tell me of this evil that affrighted you, madam, and I shall do all in my power to protect you from it.
Yes, evil. Oh, indeed, 'tis the very word for it. I have seen a dark figure prowling outside our house in the night, and once I saw him spying through my window. Who is he? What does he want from me? What am I to do?
I see. And you do not recognize his face or any other particulars? The colour of his hair, for instance?
Oh, nay, for 'tis always so dark. But by his silhouette I can tell he is a bony, scrawny little man.
Is he verily? But your husband thinks 'tis naught to worry over, you say?
Aye, he says the man is doubtless naught but a poor travelling tinker who is merely taking shelter in our garden. 'Twould explain why his figure is so slight, to be sure, but what if he is not a tinker? What if his purpose is more sinister?
Aye, indeed. Then let us consult the stars. Who is the man prowling outside the Allens' house in the night, and what is his purpose?
Forman, are you doing something? Getting so jumpy and defensive? Avis risks being punished by God for her frequent comings and goings from her house. Not only does Avis have a deceptive nature, she is obsessed with romance and has a preference for younger men. How old are you, Forman? I don't know. Avis is mine. She must rein in her behavior. Forman, chill. The intimate relationship between Avis and I is changing. Prowler is a mature, intelligent man who is a secret enemy of the Allens. Huh? Foreman, what am I supposed to take from this? Do I doubt Avis, or do I... Well, there was that other case about the thief thing. I guess that lady didn't get things taken care of. We'll go with B, I suppose.
The stars suggest the Prowler is a secret foe of your husband. Does Mr. Allen have any gambling debts, perchance?
Hold. Methinks I see it now. Ah, 'tis you! The Prowler, 'tis you!
Me? How now, madam? What an outlandish notion.
Foreman, you
So you would deny it? That you have prowled and spied upon me these last months?
Prithee, Avis, you've got it all.
I will not have it. I am not a thing to be owned. I'm not one of your prized possessions.
I prithee, madam, put that down. Put...
Ah!
Fie, madam! That was a priceless Venetian vase.
You deserved it, Foreman. Where believing she was being proud, did wish to know the identity of Prowler. I advised the querent that the Prowler was a secret enemy of her husband's. She disagreed and accused me of prowling her. Thanks to querent took my advice most was accept. Well, you deserved it. She's still gonna come back for some reason. Fie, if I see him in the garden again, I shall have Mr. Allen go and... No, methinks I had best not tell Mr. Allen yet. Yeah, considering you're not innocent in all this too, lady.
Who is this man who has on such a claim, lately returned from his conquests in Spain? The streets of London resound with his fame. Robert Devereux, that is his name.
Robert Devereux.
Good day, sir. How may I... By Jupiter! Can it be true? Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex, Lord of Her Majesty's Privy Council, a hero of the Battle of Cadiz.
Prithee, calm yourself, sirrah. Pray, treat me just as you would any other querent.
Of course, as it pleases your lordship. But may I say, what a great privilege it is to... may I offer you a...
You are the man who had some success treating the plague some years past, are you not?
Oh, indeed, my lord. You are very well informed. My strong water did save many a Londoner from a most lamentable death.
Then perchance you might have some cunning cure for me as well, for since I am returned to England upon having resolved that small matter in Spain, I find myself afflicted with the most vexing ailment.
Oh, but your most glorious capture of the Spanish city of Cadiz was no small matter, my lord. All England talks of nothing else. Why, pamphlets recounting your heroic exploits are sold on every street corner in London.
Mayhap they are. I know nothing of them. My single-handed victory against the King of Spain was but a trifling affair, and the least I could do for my queen and a grateful nation. But I fear vast riches and the hearts of many a Spanish beauty were not the only things I did capture while I was there.
What else did you capture in Spain, my lord? I fear I do not grasp your meaning. If you would kindly show me where upon your body you are...
As you see, this Spanish disease I caught has me oozing a most disagreeable substance.
Methinks I have a fair idea of the nature of your affliction, but I must confirm the judgment with a reading of the stars. Let us see, what disease troubles Robert Lord Devereux, the Earl of Essex?
Huh? Is it an STI or something? It sounds like it. My body does ooze a foul substance. What is my illness and how may I be cured? Gonorrhea, disease characterized by white matter running from the privy member and pain when passing urine. Troubled with love. No, it's not. Evil digestion. Affliction that may occasion both upward and downward. Nope. Oh, no. It's gonorrhea. Condoms didn't exist then.
You have gonorrhea, my lord. 'Tis a condition provoked by an increase in intimate activities.
Too much strumpy-humpy, eh? Well, 'tis true that since news of my victory got about, every wench from Southwark to Shoreditch wants a piece of my action, as it were. And how may this...
The most effective method is lead plate therapy. Usually this requires a man to lie in bed for many hours with a leaden plate positioned upon his privy parts, thus allowing the lead to impart its healing properties to the affected member. But, of course, men such as your lordship have no time to lie around in bed, which is why... Let me just fetch it from my cabinet. Which is why I invented this.
And that is what? Some sort of wonder job, like the ones old men used to wear?
Precisely so, my lord. 'Tis a codpiece that I had a blacksmith fashion out of lead. I invite your lordship to wear it under your breeches so that the lead may remain in contact with your privy member at all times. Indeed, until you are cured.
How very droll this is. Verily, how old-fashioned. I will appear as hung as old King Henry Tudor. Mayhap I just wear it in my chambers.
Good day, and please come again. If you need anything at all, I am at your service.
You just gave him cancer. Congratulations. Patient did present oozing of foul discharge, did diagnose a case of gonorrhea, and prescribed the application of lead plate to the privy parts. Thanks to Quentin is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. Hell yeah, 70% this is essentially 70%, it's 70 out of 100, or just a first edition. Though if I were to go about Whitehall Palace wearing a wonder chub, perchance it would revive the fashion for cod pieces. I don't know what that means, but okay. Whatever floats your boat. Good sir.
Watch another Avis, watch her night and day. If a woman has your heart, you cannot let her stray.
This is so cringy. Foreman, you're a creep.
Avis, I did not expect to see you this evening. Do you bring news?
Aye, some very good news. At least if you confirm it for me. Methinks I am with child.
How very wondrous. And, have you any idea of whom
Aye, verily, with child. But I dare not to. Forsooth, what if it be naught but false hope?
Then let us ask the stars without delay. Is Mistress Avis Allen verily with child?
Whose child? I should feel optimistic about the relationship between Avis and me. Mistress Allen is untrustworthy and creative when it comes to her marital duties. Evil angels are confusing Mistress Allen. Within a few months it will become clear that she is not with child. Mistress Allen is aging. This decreases her chance of Alright, she was, 33 when we met her? She shouldn't be that old. She should still be able to have kids. Mistress Allen's family thinks she is lazy. Mistress Allen is with child, but it will die, for she will experience some sudden bad luck, a miscarriage. The father of Mistress Allen's unborn child is a strong young man that she is romantically involved with. So she's been just sleeping around with people just to get pregnant? Is that what I'm getting from this? This reading is super confusing. It's like, there's too much going on. don't think it's going to work out, realistically.
Madam, the stars confirm that you are indeed with child, and that the father...
Oh, joy! Simon, is it not wondrous? You and I are to be blessed.
Hold. I am not finished. The stars also reveal the identity of the father.
There is no need to read the stars for that, for surely 'tis obvious that you...
Prithee, admit it. You have been coupling with my manservant, William.
Why, you... I warrant the stars say nothing of the sort.
See here, in my chart. 'Tis plain as day. In the house of children, alongside Venus, there is the planet Mars. Who else but William could that be?
But such scribblings of yours, they mean nothing to me. For all I know, you make up those stories about planets and houses and such. Why, verily, perchance you might draw up a new chart, Simon. One that tells of how the planet Avis is no longer in the House of Forman.
You would mock me, madam? You would make a jest of my... Oh, I see. Leaving now, are you? Then you do so. You leave. I bid you good day.
Querret did wish to know whether she was with child. I advised to Querret that she was with child and gave voice to my suspicion that the child's father was my manservant William Buck. Oh, seeing this relationship fall apart is bringing me so much joy. Simon's jealous fancies, I do not think I can bide them any longer.
Rich but not satisfied, mayhap you have not tried this one weird trick for displaying your wealth, by herbs and confections to boost your complexion and pass idle hours tending to your health.
Who are you, Nicholas Mugg?
Good even, sir. Who do I have the pleasure of welcoming to my chambers this day?
Nicholas Mugg, sir, proprietor of Mugg's Rugs down on Silver Street.
Ah, the wig makers. You supply wigs to players, do you not? I have heard tell of your fine work from some of my playhouse querents.
I thank ye for your kindness, sir. I do hear you are very skilled at your trade also. For are you not the curer of the plague of 92? Forsooth, I do hope you may cure me as well. For though I do not think I have the plague, whatever I have is doubtless most grave, no matter what my wife thinks.
And what is it your wife thinks?
It be her mind that I have taken naught but a chilly cold in the head. But 'tis not so, Dr. Forman, for I ache all over. My throat is grown sore, and I cough day and night.
Day and night, you say?
Aye, verily.
I see. Then let us consult the stars. What does ail Nicholas Mugg?
Ache all over, so does Thor. I cough day and night. Sounds like the flu or something. Hypochondria and possibly induced by witchcraft. Its condition could one day prove fatal. Hypochondria? Does that have to do with breathing or something? Cold in the head, symptoms of which include a cough, short-windedness, hoarse throat, and pain throughout the body. That seriously does sound like... Characterized by short-windedness and grievous pain. Could be pneumonia. He doesn't seem short-winded. He was talking a lot.
I'm sorry to confirm that your condition is indeed most grave.
Oh, most grave, you say?
I am afeard so, for it seems you have been stricken with a bout of hypochondria. 'Tis a disease of the mind that provokes delusions of illness in the sufferer, whilst he is, in truth, in a state of perfect health. My chart indicates that in your case it is so severe it may one day prove fatal.
What is it that you call it? I must own, sir, that though I understand little of what you say, by your tone methinks you do trifle with me. And to think that folks say you be different from other doctors. Well, sir, I will not tarry, for I see I do waste my time here.
Whoops. So it was just a cold. I did diagnose a severe case of hypochondria. Consultation ended before I could prescribe treatment. Well then. I will now go to the apothecary for a tincture of herbs. An apothecary man always be counted on to sell a man a cure.
Robert Lord Devereux's a rising star, dashing and debonair, he will go far. Oh, London greets him with cries of huzzah! In truth, we cannot stay we are.
Huh. Well, Lord Devereux's back.
Good day, my lord. How may I do you service? Would it pertain to some thrilling adventure upon which you may soon be embarking?
Indeed it does. Sir Walter Raleigh and I did recently come across some intelligence concerning a fleet of Spanish ships that will soon be sailing home from the New World, bearing a goodly cargo of gold. Raleigh and I plan to borrow the royal fleet, which we will use to intercept the ships and seize the treasure.
Huzzah! But, borrow the Royal Navy, you say?
Aye, only temporarily, of course. The Queen will hardly know her ships are gone. Indeed, when we return them to her bearing a handsome prize of Spanish gold, she will doubtless forgive our failure to file the correct paperwork and what not.
Doubtless. And how may I assist your lordship in this glorious endeavour?
Well, in order to intercept the Spanish fleet, we must know which route it is planning to take. One possibility is that it returns to Spain having retrieved the gold from the New World's southern continent. The other possibility, and this is the one Sir Walter thinks most likely, is that the gold has already been transported by conquistadors from the southern continent up to Havana, and the ships are to fetch it from there.
Then let us see whether the stars can tell us upon which route the treasure ships may be intercepted on their return to Spain from the New World. Will they be sailing from the southern continent or from the Spanish colony of Havana?
I received. Havana or... Let's see... Through the conquering of foreign peoples, the King of Spain establishing a fine cultural legacy for future generations. The crew of Spanish ships happened upon the gold by conquering and killing its owners. Women factor into Spanish travel plans. Devereux should trust his friend Raleigh's instincts. Spanish sailors hide a shameful secret that relates to a lack of self-control. Change of fortune, authority, creativity, refinement, foreigners. I feel like he should trust his friend. But this doesn't seem like gold. Sounds like this is gold.
The Spanish treasure ships will take a direct route back from the southern continent, from whence the gold was, found. For it seems the treasure was, discovered by the fleet's own soldiers.
Excellent, excellent. But where are we to intercept them? Pray, give me the precise day, latitude, and longitude.
Certainly, my lord. But divining nautical coordinates is a somewhat lengthy and complex process. If your lordship would kindly return in an hour or...
Quickly, sir! I have not the time to bide here all day.
Well then, let me see now. Taking into account the position of Jupiter, divide by 3, carry the 1. Yes. The Spanish treasure ships may be intercepted upon the 15th day of October, at a latitude of 9 and 40 degrees north and 5 and 20 degrees west, or thereabout. That said, however, I cannot promise you...
Excellent. Raleigh and I shall sail to this very spot. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Godspeed, my lord.
Wow, that was kind of awkward. Querent did wish to know where he and Sir Walter Raleigh might intercept some Spanish treasure ships. I advised the Querent that the treasure ships will sail directly back to Spain from the southern continent of the New World. I gave him coordinates for a location where he and Raleigh might intercept him. May God be with our English fleet, for I had not the time to verify the soundness of my calculations. Thinks de Querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Wonder if my men have yet contrived to scrape all that damnable Manchego cheese off my astrolab. Huh. Okay. Gonna take a short break here, grab some more water. But we'll be back with more patience soon. Possibly. Please not let it be Avis again. Alright, let's keep going with this now that I have more water.
Oh, she never went to school, and she's kind and never cruel. Do not take Alice for a fool. Alice Black, she is no fool.
Oh, are you the Dean's wife?
Good evening to you, madam. How might I...
Aye, pray go tell your master, Mr. Forman, that Mistress Alice Blagg is come to see him.
Ah, Mistress Blagg. It is I, Dr. Simon Forman, at your service. And what an honour it is to welcome the wife of the Dean of Rochester to my humble practice. To whom do I owe my thanks for having recommended you to my care?
Well, I will not lie. You owe your thanks to nobody, for folk do tell me that you are not a real doctor, but a quack, who does conjure demons and dabbles most unlawfully in the dark arts.
I do assure you, madam, that whatever you may have heard, I am...
Yea, do not quibble, sir. If I did seek the counsel of a doctor who has one of those fancy medical degrees, or the kind of high-bred know-it-all who does see fit to judge a woman and vex her most cruelly, I would have gone elsewhere. But, truth be told, I have need of such a man as you, for I have been bewitched by a witch.
Ah, I see.
Yea, a loathsome spell has been cast upon me. It does cause me to awaken in the morning with a most terrible pain in my head, a pain so wretched it does have me chundering into my chamber pot.
Pain in the head and involuntary purging. And what leads you to believe your suffering is occasioned by witchcraft?
Well, the timing is most unnatural. My troubles do occur every Saturday morning without fail. I suspect the doings of our new neighbour, the widow MacDoon. As well as being Scottish, she does possess several cats.
Several cats, you say?
One or two of which I may have kicked, and now she has seen fit to take revenge upon me with her dark, foreign magic.
Indeed. Scotland is well known for the powerful black witchcraft practiced by its womenfolk.
Is it?
But as compelling as this evidence may be, my practice does draw upon the latest scientifical arts. To diagnose your condition, I must first perform a rigorous astronomical analysis. So, let us see now, what do the stars say is the cause of your Saturday morning suffering?
Isn't it just a cat allergy? Noxious food or drink. Excuse me. Pregnancy, but pregnancy isn't that time, or symptoms of pregnancy wouldn't be that timely. She's bewitched. I guess she is bewitched because, she's not eating or drinking anything.
Your feminine instincts serve you well, Mistress Bligh. Witchcraft is indeed the cause of your suffering, but happily it is but a weak enchantment. A moment, madam, while I consult my medical reference. Let me see now. Warts, wasting of the hands, water on the brain, witchcraft. Aye, lifting the spell will be quite simple. First you must wait for the witch to enter her house, then you must climb up onto the roof and pull out a handful of thatched straw from above the door, and then take the aforementioned straw home with you and burn it. Huh.
So Mistress MacDoon verily is a witch. Well, upon my honour, I did know it. That spiteful ginger-wicked she-devil. The next time I do see that woman's cats in my garden, I will kick those mangy beasts from here to the very moon.
Well, you're pleasant to be around. Headache, voluntary upward purging did inform the querent that she had been bewitched and furnished her with instructions on how to lift the enchantment. Thinks the querent was a little pleased with me. Wonder where I might procure a ladder. I've never climbed upon a roof before.
Beware conspirations, plots and machinations, the schemes of big physic to sell you their wares. Their cures do us violence, but they call it science. They mock our beliefs and belittle our fears.
I don't know how to deal with you.
Well met, Mr. Mugg. You seemed displeased following our last consultation. In truth, I am surprised to see you again.
Doubtless you are. You were very wrong to tell me I had, what was it again? Hyperdiarrhea or some such?
Hypochondria, as I recall.
But, yea, I am come again, for it seems you have won the heart of my wife, and she will not hear of me seeing any other doctor henceforth.
Verily. Your wife's endorsement does me honour, sir. So, what brings you this day? For in sooth you look most well.
Well? Mayhap I look well now, but 'twill not be for long. I have been poisoned.
Poisoned? By the saints! Who is the author of this foul deed?
My friend George Sprottle, the bookbinder. I did dine with him not 2 hours ago.
I see. A bout of evil digestion. Pray tell, was there turned meat or some such at table?
Nay, not meat. 'Twas a pie full of cherries. I had a bite of it afore I knew what I was eating.
Cherries, you say?
Aye, cherries. And this after I took particular care to give Mistress Sprottle a list of foods I must not eat. I added cherries to the list when I did hear that the Countess of Devonshire has declared against their noxious qualities.
The Countess of Devonshire, you say? Noxious qualities, indeed. And now your symptoms, Mr. Mugg. Had you any reaction after eating these cherries?
My reaction? Well, I reacted as any man would. I spat them out. And know you what Mr. Sprottle did then, Dr. Forman?
Nay, but pray tell.
He did laugh at me. He even called me a dinner-ralphing fusspot. Fie, I may soon be in the grave, thanks to George. Will he still be laughing then?
Well, let us not speculate, shall we, Mr. Mugg? Now, let us see what the stars may tell us. What ails Nicholas Mugg?
The noxious, that was potatoes. cherry poisoning. No, you, sir.
Your condition has been provoked by the rancour you feel towards your host for having ignored your alimentary demands. These feelings have caused your spleen to produce ill humours, which you are presently venting in the form of bilious anger. Hence it will quickly pass.
I see. But what of the cherries I ate?
Cherries are perfectly safe to eat. Truly, Mr. Mugg, you must abandon these absurd and superstitious notions about the evils of particular fruits and vegetables.
Must I?
Aye. With the exception of onions, of course. For onions do render a man susceptible to the plague.
Onions, verily? I thank you for the warning, Dr. Forman. I shall add onions to my list.
What's wrong with onions? Onions have antioxidants. Well, they have like antioxidant. Well, because the chemical they produce is essentially like antioxidants filled. Okay, Querent did come afeard that he was ill, having eaten food that the Countess of Devonshire, who I know is not a licensed doctor, has deemed unwholesome. Did diagnose a minor imbalance of choler, which required no treatment. This dude's a fool. As the Countess of Devonshire discoursed upon the evils of onions, I must inquire.
For many queerance thou hast known. If one strength to forsake thee, find solace with another lady.
But he's not a good person. Like, at all.
William! There you are. Did Mistress Allen call whilst I was out this day? Nay? You're quite sure about that, are you? I see. I cannot understand it. Why has Avis not come these past weeks? Does she no longer wish to see me?
I no longer wish to see you, but you're the main character. Mistress Allen's reluctance to see me is but the legacy of my unpleasant manner towards her in the past, provoked by my suspicious fancies. I have been deprived of tender favors of late, but my fortune seems to be reversing. I expect to see her again. Oh, dear Lord, you're delusional. It was cruel of Avis to allow me to hope that we would one day be together. Avis feels that she has treated her husband carelessly. It is only self-constraint and a sense of duty towards her husband that keeps Avis from calling on me. She doesn't seem remorseful. Avis's feelings cannot be trusted. She harbors romantic feelings towards another man. Avis does not know who has fathered the child she carries. Well, you were an ass, so they're gonna go.
So, 'tis the madness of my love that keeps Avis away. My jealous passions and accusations have vexed her, mayhap even caused her fright. When she comes to see me again, for she surely will, by and by, I must remember to be kinder to her, to not plague her with my suspicions. And until Avis does return, well, there are other women in the world, are there not?
You're disgusting. I learned that Avis is troubled by my jealousy. Oh, heck yeah. I have oft remarked the power of my charms have over my Lady Querets. Dude, none of them are like as desperate as Avis is. Sir, I must inform you that your judgment that my neighbor Molly MacDoon is a witch was very wrong. You have instructed me to retrieve a handful of straw from her roof and burn it to lift the spell she had cast upon me. But I was doing so, I happened to disturb a cat that had been sleeping there. The fright this occasioned me and said cat caused us both to cry out and fall to the ground, bring Mistress MacDoon out of her house, demanding explanation. Thereupon I I did confess I thought her a witch. At first she was fully vexed, but when I told her of my Saturday morning suffering, she took to laughing most riotously. She did then call me a dozy wee lass and fetched me a bottle of a special tonic the Scots take in the mornings after having much caroused on brown liquor. And having now relied on this tonic for some weeks past, I can attest that it was not you but Molly McDood who did cure me of my illness. I bid you think on that, Mr. Forman. Your querent, Alice Blogg, letter of recommendation, 10 out of 100. Oh, she was hungover? Was that even an option? I don't care.
Eyes are nothing like the sun, if snowy white her breasts are done, and that is our description done, for she is a lady. She's not a lady.
What is that word of done? I've never seen that before. I don't even know what it means. I'm gonna assume it's not pleasant.
Good day, Mistress Lanier. Much time has passed since I last saw you. How do you fare?
In truth, not well, Dr. Forman, not well at all.
Then I am full sorry for it, madam. Pray, tell me what manner of ill has befallen you.
I have been publicly humiliated. Mr. S. has been circulating a collection of insulting sonnets about an unnamed dark lady, and all of London thinks this dark lady...
Well, your complexion is rather...
I am described as having foul breath and black wires for hair, though methinks the very worst line is the one that tells of a gross body rising at the utterance of my name. And I cannot abide illusions, Dr. Forman. If Mr. S. wishes to reference bodily levitation and other such cheap stage magic, he would do well to leave my name out of it. My interest is in the dramatic arts, not fairground attraction.
I am not sure that is quite his meaning.
Dr. Forman, you know of Mr. William Shakespeare, then? Do not tell me you have read the sonnets.
Well, I own that I have. But as you did remark, madam, all of London has read them.
Oh, well, I am undone. My professional reputation is now utterly spoiled, for now the whole world will look upon me as naught but Mr. Shakespeare's fancy wench. No longer will they judge me on my own merits.
Let us hope it is not as grave as that, madam. Have you discoursed upon the matter with him?
Nay, I dare not confront him about it. For we are almost at an end with our work on a play, and I dare not risk it not being staged.
Then let us see what the stars advise. What may Mistress Lanier do to restore her professional reputation?
Wow, this is terrible. Okay. Mistress Lanier harbors secret thoughts of adultery, which relate somehow to her intellect and her feelings of despair. That doesn't seem right. As ignorant of her romantic feelings, then this must be reversed. She should abandon her career ambitions and revert to her true vocation. Bring forth... She should have... That is degrading. Mistress Lanier is confused about her feelings for me. How interesting. No. God will help Mistress Lanier if she exercises constraint and discipline. No. Relationship between Mr. Shakespeare and Mistress Lanier is not an equal one. Shakespeare's arrogance will overshadow Amelia's contribution to the play they are writing. And Mistress Lanier must find a way to dissociate her name from these sonnets, for if she does not, her literary legacy will be betrayed by association with them. Yes.
You are right to be concerned about the damage to your reputation, Mistress Lanier, for there is a danger that your partnership with Mr. Shakespeare and his depiction of you in his sonnets will forever overshadow your own literary achievements.
God's womb. But what can I do to forestall such an injustice?
I suggest you spread a rumour of your own about another lady. For instance, there is a brothel owner in Clerkenwell they call Black Luce. If you were to put it about that she is the subject of Shakespeare's sonnets, 'twould do her reputation no harm. Indeed, the effect will be quite the reverse, for doubtless there be many a manor present who would pay handsomely for a tumble with Shakespeare's Dark Lady.
Well, indeed. I do feel 'tis most important to advance the interests of my fellow women, especially those seeking to make their way in business. Oh, do you see that, Dr. Forman? 'Tis your mute Italian querent, Signor Ferraro. He is staring at us through the window.
Is he? Then doubtless he has come for another consultation.
Why, okay. But good to help Amelia Lanier. She's probably the only patient I like helping. Querent did fear her reputation had been defiled by poems of a bawdy nature written by Mr. Shakespeare and currently being circulated around London. I did advise the Querent to spread a competing rumor that the Dark Lady of Mr. Shakespeare's sonnets was a lady by the name of Black Luce, the brothel keeper in Clerkenwell. Methinks the Querent was pleased. Yes, thank you. Not only shall I rescue my reputation, I shall be a good ally to this... What was her name again? Yes, Black Luce.
When it feels like an Italian cliché,
When it feels like an Italian cliché, Ferraro, Signor Ferraro.
Yes, Signor Ferraro.
Good day, senor, and well met.
'Tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to see the great Dottore Simon Forman.
Indeed, I did recognize you, senor. How may I assist you this day?
I am ill. I tell you my problems. First problem, I do make a chandar in the morning. Next problems, my belly does swell and my chest 'tis a most tender to the touch. And now, for the very most terrible of problems. I have the big feels. One moment I do weep, and the next I do curse and gnash my teeth. So, Dottore, you tell what ails me, huh? You wanna make water into this cup? Un momento, I make the water.
Nay, not in my... prithee, hold. If you please, senor. As with our previous consultations, I shall be judging your illness by reading the stars.
So, you need not my...
Nay, senor, I have no need of it. Whilst 'tis true that most physicians do spy and sniff their patients' urine, I find this method of piss-pot diagnosis most imprecise. Indeed, the practice is quite primitive. 'Tis my belief that if medicine is to advance in this modern age, we must all adopt a more scientifical method. I am quite sure history will bear me out on this question.
This scientifical method. 'Tis reading my diagnosis in the stars?
Precisely so. Speaking thereof, perchance we may consult the stars now. What illness troubles Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
I don't know, having him pee in a cup and analyzing it, that's a thing we do. Okay, suffer from swollen belly, tender chest, chundering, and moodiness. What ails me? Apoplexy, condition of the brain provoked by sudden fit, affects sensory perception causing swollen neck veins, memory loss, and gnashing of the teeth. Mild enchantment cast by a witch. We'll get worse before it gets better. Mattering in the breast, gathering of corrupt matter in the chest area, occasioning pain in the breast. With child. Are you a lady? What? Nah, I have to pick it. Is that why you keep running away from Amelia?
This is exceeding strange. Your complaints of a tender chest, morning purges, swelling, along with the positions of the planets, they suggest you are with child.
You would judge me, a man, as being with a child? God's blood! What kind of a dottore are you?
Well, indeed, it does seem strange. I may have gotten my calculations wrong. Unless, of course, your moustache is naught but a cunning disguise. But I jest, signor. 'Twas not my intention to doubt your manliness.
You jest! A lady who would disguise herself as a man? So silly. I think you see too many plays by Mr. Shakespeare, huh? Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
Tell the querent he was with child a physical impossibility, but why did the querent tell me he had such symptoms? God's blood, that was a close shit. Are you... You're a woman?
Rosa, which marks the food on your plate? Are you verily sure that your dinner is clear? At midst, explain how food causes your pain, but your friends and relations are very mean.
It's because you're delusional. That's why your friends and relations are verily mean.
Good day, Mr. Mugg. Pray tell, did the matter with the, cherries resolve itself in the end?
Aye, indeed. I did tell my friend, Mr. Sprottle, what you said about how my shouting at him was owing to an upset of bile in my spleen. I also did speak to him on the evils of onions. I think he was most interested.
And what may I assist you with this day, Mr. Mugg?
I have the spotted fever. I must begin treatment now, or else...
Hold, sir. The spotted fever is exceeding rare. Why would you think you have such a disease?
Well, sir, not only am I covered all over in red spots, I have lately taken to chundering, such as are the very symptoms listed in the medical book I did read. I am already taking the treatment Mr. Cogan prescribes, but now I...
You mean to say you have read Thomas Cogan's Haven of Health? Why, that is a most technical book, writ for doctors and medical students. How did you come to be reading it?
My friend George Sprottle did bind a printing of it in his shop. He kindly let me spy some pages afore 'twas sent up to Cambridge. Oh, but Dr. Forman, I forget myself. You have no medical degree, so you doubtless have not read it. Mayhap if I ask George nice...
Sir, let us consult the stars and see if they may tell us what ails you.
Hypochondria, induced by the appearance of benign pimples on the privy member. Ew. Evil indigestion, no, probably not. Spotted fever. Sure, you have spotted fever.
You do indeed suffer from the spotted fever, Mr. Mugg. Now, as to your cure. Aye, it does require some uncommon ingredients that I do not keep here in my chambers at present. A moment, pray, while I write this down. Here, take this recipe to your apothecary and have him make you up a preparation. Take a spoonful each morning until your red spots disappear.
Ooh, ground up horns of a deer, and cinnamon, how very fine, and this red coral from the South Seas.
Aye, verily. Nothing but the finest of cures for my loyal querents.
It is just as well for us that I did consult Mr. Cogan's book, is it not, Dr. Forman? On my word, my wife was very wrong to doubt him. I shall tell her you said so. One thing more, if you please, Dr. Forman, for I feel I must give ye warning. A great storm is coming. I feel it in my bones, and my bones do always speak true. You would do well to bide indoors at the first sign of wind and rain. God keep ye well, Dr. Forman.
Red spots, involuntary upward purging. Did diagnose my first case of the spotted fever and prescribed the treatment for it as listed in one of my reference books. Now that common folk know how to read, we shall soon have no more need of doctors. No, it's because of common folk like you that we do need doctors.
Almighty God, guide servant Thomas Blagg, reach forth thy gracious hand, and slap sense into him.
Yeah, can I slap sense into him?
Good morrow, Dean Blagg. How fare you this day?
Well, Dr. Forman, I must own that I do not fare well, for my recent investments have left me in a rather vexing financial position.
Verily, that is ill to hear.
Aye, Sir Walter Raleigh's quest for El Dorado failed most woefully, just as you predicted.
Serves you right.
His ships did return loaded with naught but a few sacks of worthless root vegetables. I cannot fathom it. We are Englishmen. We do not eat vegetables.
Aye, a disappointing outcome indeed.
Oh, but that is all by the by. For you will be pleased to know that I put my remaining fortune into a new venture so assured of success that I will make all my money back and more.
Assured, you say? How very reassuring.
I have invested in an expedition to intercept a fleet of Spanish ships carrying gold back from the New World. For this expedition, Sir Walter Raleigh will be joined by that famous military genius, Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex. So success is virtually guaranteed. There is but one small worry, however.
Ah, only one?
Aye. 'Tis that Raleigh and Essex set sail full 2 months past, but there is yet no tidings of them. Such silence is a trifle vexing. Have they yet captured the Spanish treasure ships? Surely no ill has befallen them.
A most vexing mystery indeed. Let us see whether the stars can tell us what has become of this expedition.
Please let have me been right that last time. Okay. The angels will vest their blessings upon Blagg, and he must be patient. Blagg is a lazy fantasist who indulges in an excess of creative thinking. Violent battles being waged in a foreign clime. God has granted Blagg good intuition. The moon shines its benevolent light upon the Blagg family fortune. That makes sense. Why things are silent. Blagg has been careless with his financial legacy. Raleigh and Essex are selling their ships in the wrong direction. The expedition has been endangered by secret information from an untrustworthy authority. Trustworthy? How very dare the stars throw shade upon my honor thus? My skill in reading navigational coordinates in the stars is unimpeachable. C is just bad. We're gonna go with B.
Wondrous tidings! Your family's fortune is soon to be restored, and you may thank God for it was he that inspired you to invest in such a well-led expedition. Raleigh and Essex have come upon the Spanish treasure fleet, and a violent battle off the coast of Spain is being waged this very hour.
Verily, blessed day! O Heavenly Father, I give thanks unto thee for both thy mercy and thy business savvy.
Yeah, let's just keep going. I wonder what Mistress Blagg has ordered for dinner. Would that it be swan pie? Swan pie. That seems cruel. Swans are pretty. Why would you eat one?
Why must this wench act so distressed? Mayhap she can't abide a jest. No word of love and 'tis professed. What an ungrateful lady! What an ungrateful lady!
Oh, did Shakespeare like her?
Good day, Mistress Lanier. Pray, come in and take comfort by the fire. The wind is fierce and cold this day.
Did you see him this time, Dr. Forman? He did it again. He ran off the moment he saw me.
See who, madam?
Your patient, Signor Ferraro.
Ah, verily? Indeed, I was expecting him to come for a consultation this day. But he changed his mind and ran off, you say. How very mysterious.
Truly, 'tis as if all men are determined to use me ill.
Surely not all men, madam. I, for one, remain most devotedly at your service. My dear lady, I do not need to read the stars to see that something grave has befallen you. Pray, tell me what it is.
Yesterday I did meet with Mr. Shakespeare to discourse upon our new play, which is to open this week at the theatre in Shoreditch. But though I was determined not to confront him about the sonnets he wrote about me, 'twas difficult to hide the heaviness I did feel in his company.
I can well imagine, madam.
So then, well, he remarked upon my dark humour. To wit, he said to me, "Amelia, your pretty brow does furrow, so I will kiss it smooth."
And I sense that you did not receive this well?
Indeed, I did not. Forsooth, I was so enraged by this, I reversed my flagon of ale full over his head.
Ah.
Whereon he rose from his stool, declaring I was the most ungrateful and unworthy wench in all of Christendom, and then he flew out of the tavern like a bat from out the gates of hell.
A most vivid image, and no doubt most apt. Men who work in playhouses are prone to indulging in such melodrama, of course. Why so many ladies care for such men in preference of those employed in solid, stable professions, I shall never understand.
And if only that were all. For this morning I saw a bill advertising our play posted on a wall in my street. It bears his name and not mine.
Verily? Surely not. Mayhap there has been some error made.
Nay, Dr. Forman, 'tis no error, for I rushed to the theatre to see what was amiss, but I was refused admittance. Indeed, the player who came to the door denied all knowledge of my collaboration on the play. Methinks Mr. Shakespeare is exacting his petty vengeance upon me for rejecting his sly suit by denying me credit for my work, and he means to deal with me by pretending I do not exist, as if I were a ghost. Or is it he who has become the ghost? In truth, I am not yet sure how that metaphor should work.
What monstrous perfidy! Pray tell me what I might do to punish this wretched scribbler. Though I am not adept with a sword, I do have a book that instructs in how to command nefarious spirits.
Oh, prithee, sir, I am come not in search of vengeance, but to seek answers. As you know, I have been ill-treated by my husband, and now I am betrayed by Mr. Shakespeare. Pray, read the stars and answer me this, Dr. Forman. Will I ever be able to trust, even love, a man again?
I don't know. Shouldn't you figure that out yourself? And the relationship twixt Amelia and me is currently wrought by confusion. God rewards men who invest time in their friendships with comely women. Amelia's friends have been unworthy of her confidence. Amelia secretly wishes to commit adultery with a man of high intelligence. Amelia's literary legacy has been betrayed by Mr. Shakespeare. Mistress Lanier is ignorant of the love she inspires, but her ignorance will be reversed. Amelia's present adversity may bring change and new life in the form of a child. Amelia should give into her true feeling. No! Why is this the only option?
To your question of whether there yet be a man in this world worthy of your trust and affections, forsooth, I have never seen an arrangement of stars that speaks so clearly.
Verily? Then pray tell, what answer does it give?
My dear lady, the answer you seek need not be divined by reading the stars. It may be read in the signs you see before you now. To wit, the answer you seek is right in front of you.
I am afeard I do not follow, Dr. Forman. 'Tis your feather quill, a half-eaten apple, your desk is a little untidy, and I must confess the symbolism in Flemish still-life painting has always quite confounded me. Take a skull, for instance. What sense does a skull make alongside a bowl of... Below? 'Tis clear to me now, your face was always hid in shadow, but 'tis you, Mr. Forman. You are the man who has been prowling me these last months.
Dearest, loveliest Amelia, allow me to profess to you my undying admiration for your charms, which are not insignificant.
God's womb, et tu, Dr. Forman. Fie, you of all men to betray me thus. But 'tis true. I now see the answer. For I know now never again to trust a man to guide me. Henceforth, I shall write under my own name, and when there are decisions to be made, I shall take my own counsel and make my own judgments.
Thank you.
By the by, methinks I do at last understand that prediction you made for me some years ago, Dr. Forman. The one about how belief is required if I am to succeed. 'Tis a belief I must hold not in the inevitability of my own personal success, but of the successes of the women who will come after me. Farewell, Dr. Forman, and clean your desk. Verily, 'tis quite disgusting.
Thank you. Querent did wish to know whether she will ever trust or love a man again. I did advise to Querent that I was a man who she could love and trust. Thinks to Querent took my advice most ill. You're a creep. That's what you are. Well, she gave me a letter of rec. We women will achieve equal treatment even if it takes us 100 years. It's still going on to this day, sadly enough, but good on you. Especially in this time period. Wow. Sir, I must thank you for your diligent care of my husband Nicholas. Your efforts to disabuse him of his fanciful notions are much appreciated by his family. Please continue to speak true to him, that he may one day come to his senses and peace may be restored to our household. Your Querent's long-suffering wife, Sarah Mugg. Yeah, your husband's delusional.
Lancelot Moore is of a great house. Much does depend, much, on his choice of a spouse. He must be consecrated wealth, no matter the cost to love and to health.
That seems very unpleasant, but what's up with you?
Good day to you, young sir, and well met. You are Lancelot Moore of Middlesex, are you not? What an honour it is to welcome a son of the great house of Moore to my humble consulting chambers.
'Tis indeed I, Lancelot Moore. I will own it. But hear this. My family is ignorant of my designs in coming here, and I wish them to remain so. Which is why I come to you, Mr. Forman, for methinks you are not such a man who would ever find himself in the company of a family such as ours.
Ah, well, you may count upon my discretion, Mr. Moore. And what is the matter that brings you this day?
'Tis that my family wish me to marry my wretched cousin Barbara.
And I take it you would not wish to comply?
Nay, I verily would not. Cousin Barbara is a vile little minx. She loves nothing more than to sport with me and play cruel japes. Last Christmas, she even hid a dead mouse in my mince pie.
Ew. The lady does seem most spirited.
The lady? Oh, pish! Cousin Barbara is hardly a lady, for she is not 14 years of age. It is most unnatural to ask a grown man to wed a child.
Indeed it is. 'Tis my belief that in these enlightened times we should consider—
Verily, Barbara be damned. My heart belongs to a true woman, not a freckled, scrawny slip of a girl. A full-blossomed woman.
A woman, you say?
Aye, Marion, my other cousin.
Ew.
I see.
Ah, Marion. So beguiling are her shapely charms. Oh, to lie, if not to die, in Marion's arms. So soft her lips, so sweet her face. Oh, how I yearn for her embrace. In me she hath such passion stirred, a fever rises in my— But nay, I pray for death and would be martyred if from her I be thus parted. And so you see, you must help me forestall this wretched marriage so that I might wed my sweet cousin Marion. Mr. Forman? Mr. Forman?
Yes, indeed. Let us see what the stars advise. How might Mr. Moore avoid this marriage to his cousin Barbara?
Ew. I mean, good on him for not marrying his 14-year-old cousin, but like, ew, still marrying his other cousin? If Moore spreads a rumor about Barbara being sexually active, the marriage plans will be abruptly... That's mean. She's only 14. This house suggests Barbara is with child. She may not be as she says she... Ew. That's disgusting. An appeal to Moore's vanity may induce him to travel abroad. Moore will be able to extract himself from this engagement once he has come of age and has control over his fortune. Moore should betray his family by serving his country. He should go to war. He's gonna die, that's what he's gonna do. God's aid will come via cousin Barbara, who is both intelligent and rebellious. Barbara is secretly unhappy about the marriage. What does Moore's intuition tell him about this marriage? Therein lies the key to unraveling this. Let's go the passive route and have him speak to Barbara, who probably doesn't want to get married either.
'Tis apparent you do not wish to marry your cousin Barbara, but have you considered whether she wishes to marry you?
Nay, but I cannot think why she would not want to marry me. I am exceeding eligible.
Aye, doubtless you are, Mr. Moore. But do you not think her unkind japes may indicate she harbours some degree of malice towards you?
Mayhap you are right. I did find a toad in my bed Thursday last. 'Tis as if Barbara were possessed by a demon.
Very possibly. And thus possessed, she may be distracted and not wholly aware of your, fine qualities. I advise you to simply bide your time, for the stars suggest she is a cunning maid who plans to thwart the marriage using a method of her own devising.
Verily? Then I will leave it all to Barbara, as you advise, but it shall be on your head if I'm forced to marry her, Mr. Forman.
This might not be a good idea after all, but it's hilarious. Okay, Querent did wish to know how to avoid marrying his cousin Barbara, did tell the Querent to bide his time, as doubtless his young cousin would find a way to put an end to the match herself. He's a little pleased. Mayhap I go this night to recite rhyming verse outside Marion's bedchamber. I saw that in a play. It worked wondrous well. If you're talking about Romeo and Juliet, they both died in the end, sir.
Hear ye, hear ye! Spanish Armada nears English coast. Nation prepares for invasion whilst Queen searches for missing navy. Hear ye!
Wait, what happened to our troops? As Spanish ships near our shores, the Queen's ground troops prepare for what promises to be a blood-soaked slaughter of Englishmen by continental Catholic savages. With England's coast undefended, experts predict Spanish ships will be sailing up the Thames to London within days. Sources in the royal court say the Queen is more than a little vexed by the absence of the Royal Navy, which experts describe as lost. What happened to them?
Wench, be sure to marry, lest he be branded a witch. If Mary sees you keeping cats against you, she will snitch. Beware of Mistress Mary Page, she is a nosy fa. La 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 la.
I wonder what they censored.
Blessed even, Dr. Forman.
Mistress Payne, what brings you in such weather? 'Tis most dangerous to be about in it.
Oh, it takes more than a little wind and rain to forestall me from doing the Lord's work. Besides, foul weather is naught but God's righteous vengeance upon London for the sinful debauchery of its inhabitants.
Verily? Then I dread to think what northerners get up to of an evening.
Pray heed me carefully, Dr. Forman, for 'tis on a most pressing matter that I am come. Doubtless you have heard the news. The Spanish Armada does sail once again towards England's shores. It seems this latest Armada was most unexpected.
Well, as 'tis oft said, no one expects the Spanish Armada.
'Tis very grave this time, for I have heard tell that our own warships are far away at sea, and with our coasts undefended, a Catholic horde may soon be sailing up the Thames to slay us all.
Aye, our situation is most grave indeed. But what would you have me tell you, Mistress Payne?
I wish to know whether the English fleet will arrive home in time to defend our shores, or might we ordinary folk be compelled to take up arms to defend ourselves? Dr. Forman, are you ready to beat off the Catholics, come what may?
Am I ready to beat off the... prithee, madam, let us pray the need never arises. Perchance the stars will offer us some reassurance. Will the Royal Naval Fleet return home in time to defend England from the Spanish Armada?
Hopefully, but you should still prepare anyways. There's no reason not to. Okay, unpleasantness will result from a cunning plan to steal goods. Royal Navy is absent due to a reckless and misguided pursuit of gold. Ambitions will be thwarted by confusion. That's not pleasant. Authorities cannot be trusted to uphold their duty to defend ordinary Englanders. That's sad. Mistress Payne must rouse her neighbors to take up arms. That's not good. Spanish fleet will be delayed due to the idleness of their sailors. Catholic evil angels will have their plans thwarted by a deadly unpredictable event. Oh yeah, there was that thing about like the Spanish sailors being plagued by something like a weakness or something to do with women or something. I guess we'll go with C.
Be no longer afeared, Mistress Payne. The Spaniards are soon to be thwarted. Although the Armada does near our shores, its progress is slow. For, according to the stars, the sailors are most idle in nature.
Ah, yes, 'tis a trait oft remarked in continentals.
And they will be punished for this sin of sloth, for their lives are soon to be taken by a most deadly event.
Glory be! And what nature of event might this be? How will England achieve this glorious victory? A fierce sea battle won by our mighty warships? A triumphant charge of our cavalry brigades?
Well, England will use her... let me see now. Yes, these southern continentals will be struck down by England's most terrifying weapon of all, our lamentable weather. Batten down your hatches and wrap up warm, Mistress Payne. A violent storm is coming.
Oh yeah. Bags, whatever. The delusional dude told us about it. Cool. Okay, Quern did wish to know whether Royal Navy would return home to time to defend England from the Spanish Armada. I did reassure the Querent that the Spanish would be defeated by a combination of their own fecklessness and an unpredictable event. I need your letter wrecked, but probably not. I'm most pleased to hear this news, but if Forman be wrong, may God forgive him, for I will not. Okay, lady. Sir, I must congratulate you on the sterling counsel you gave me in relation to my horrid cousin Barbara, whom my parents did wish me to marry. As you did predict, the wretched little fiend did at length contrive a method for ending our engagement. She has run off with the Earl of Shrewsbury. You were relieved Querent, Lancelot Moore, Esquire. Glad it worked out, but your young cousin is getting married and still. Ew.
Lady, take care, for say, did you hear what the Countess says about peace? Saturnus, or doubtless they're causing your current disease.
Really? Peas?
Good morrow, Mr. Mugg. Back again so soon. And yet your red spots do seem to have faded.
Aye, of the spotted fever I am cured, for, as he remarked, those spots have near vanished and no new ones are appearing. But my wife does swear they were the work of fleas, and she beat the rugs and banished the dogs from the house to rid us of them. She'll be beating and banishing me next if she has her way.
Well, I am glad to hear you are faring better. What brings you this day?
I have a humoral imbalance and need treating for it.
A humoral imbalance, you say? Well, 'tis true that an imbalance of humours can affect a man's mood. For instance, an excess of black bile, which is a cold, dry humour, can provoke feelings of melancholy, whereas yellow bile
is hot and dry. I thank ye for the explanation, Dr. Forman, but I did learn all about humours when I took supper with my friend, Mistress Ollingworth. She has a humoral imbalance and takes medicine for it. Hence, I am come this day for medicine to treat my own imbalance.
I see. And what mental symptoms are you experiencing? Any unusual or troubling feelings?
Aye, very troubling. Why, I find myself a-fretting and a-pacing all the day long. Even my wife has remarked upon it.
Anxiety and agitation. Pray tell, did these feelings begin before or after you spoke with your friend, Mistress Ollingworth?
Let me see now. After, methinks. Aye, after. Why? Does that matter?
Yes, quite possibly. But let us see what these stars do have to say. What humoral imbalance does ail my querent, Nicholas Mugg?
Let's see. Choleric. Humoral imbalance of choler can cause occasional symptoms of anger, impatience, and irritability. Constipation. No, he's just being annoying as usual. Constipation-related psychological. Well, he's not angry, impatient, or irritable. No, we'll say constipation, I guess.
Have you a diagnosis yet? This day I am to dine with Mistress Ollingworth, and I wish to tell her all about it.
Aye, 'tis done. You have an imbalance of phlegm in your bowels. Not only does this cause constipation, it does also provoke a condition of the mind called retention of the anus. With retention of the anus, the sufferer is prone to fixation and obsession. Is there, perchance, a particular subject upon which you think you may fixate or obsess? Prithee, sir, take your time to think.
Nay, I cannot say as I do fixate or obsess over anything. Methinks your diagnosis must be wrong.
Well, it was worth a try.
Aye, well, doubtless you will have better luck with the stars next time, eh? Good day, Dr. Forman.
No, I just wanted to say you're a butt. I do not think I would like to tell Mistress Ollingworth about an imbalance in my bowels. Not over dinner, forsooth. You could.
Hear ye, hear ye! Spanish Armada sunk by English storm! Hear ye!
Well, proving once again that God loves England more than our Catholic enemies. The Spanish naval fleet has been defeated by a mighty storm that has been raging in the English Channel for nigh on 3 days. What remains of the Armada has fled back to Spain. Beachcombers are advised to wait for the storm to abate before looting corpses that have washed ashore. Ooh, oof. But, yeah, it's almost 2 o'clock, and this is enough of this game, I suppose. We'll continue it next time. Oh, man. This game is so weird. How do I get out? Oh. Actually, I didn't realize there was this menu here. Oh, I have 2 more patients I have yet to see. I hope Lord Devereux's okay. Sybil Fortescue. Oh, yeah. Fortescue's the lady with the potatoes, not the lady Mug was talking to. Oh, okay, that's the main menu. Okay, so plus is this later the rec thing. But yeah, that should be enough for now. Interesting game. It's gonna be a short playthrough, sure. I just want to go through it once. I got 2 letters of Rex. That means I'm a quarter of the way there. I just need to get 6 more, but I keep screwing everyone up. Not that any of them are likable. Amelia's the only one I personally like so far. I helped her become her own person. Forman's an ass. I wonder when Avis is gonna return. But not that I need Avis anyways. I got her letter of rec. But yeah, I'll be back with this game tomorrow. Why not? This game is hilarious, but also kind of makes me feel uncomfortable with how in the period it is. But yeah. Till tomorrow. Don't die. Or have your humors mixed up. I don't know what they're talking about with the humors. I kind of do, but not really. But later.